Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?
The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Oh, it's live, pal.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never, ever end.
Everybody three count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Or maybe The Rock has got to beat Triple H himself, which means he's got to beat the game in the middle of the ring. And he has a $2 for a wife.
You're too damn selfish, and that's why you're sitting there with a bad leg, and that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
3 ain't enough now, I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
Oh my goodness, what a maneuver! There's a 1, there's a 2. Oh!
Wow.
Well, you can take that brass ring and shove it up your ass.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 3 Count Thursday. We are live, Facebook.com/3 Count Thursday, and we are back here with you the first day of April. No, we're not kidding. We are with you. We are live. We are serious here, but not, of course, that serious. We are still the podcast of the millennium. We have tons to talk about tonight, but first, make sure you go to 3countthursday.com. Where you'll find all of our social media links, our merchandise at whatamaneuver.net.
What a maneuver.
Thank you, Tim. Our Patreon page, patreon.com/3 Count Thursday. You go to store.collarandelbowbrand.com. Use promo code 3counts for 10% off each and every order. And of course, our home network is NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. We never stop. And the Lieb Sports and Music Network, they are our secondary network. Make sure you check them out, and you can check them out at liebsports.com. That would be?
Of course. That's LEEIBsports.com.
What? What? He's back.
Got him.
He's back. My goodness. Comes in making the big return. WrestleMania season is upon us.
I guarantee you,
moving in slow motion. That's actually how fast.
That's my regular speed. That's how it is, folks.
Ryan,
this show,
back,
I guarantee, will be better than Monday's Raw.
Whoa!
Wow. At least the first half of Monday's Raw. At least the first half of Monday's
The whole halves.
The whole halves. That's a thing. The whole halves.
All the halves.
Oh my goodness. Now we're not hiding anybody else behind the other banner. Matt did ask for a vacation day this week. He will not be with us, but he will be back next week. Now, I want to remind everybody before we find out how everyone's doing. Next week, we will not be here on Thursday night. There'll be no 3 Count Thursday live on Thursday. We will be here on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time, where we're going to be talking and predicting NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. And then Friday night during the final hour of SmackDown, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we will be back here for our WrestleMania prediction show. So plan accordingly. And put it this way, folks. Next week's Raw and SmackDown, they're already taped. So you don't need to watch the second hour of SmackDown. You need to come and watch us preview WrestleMania.
Is it really taped? I didn't know that. I thought they were doing live shows.
Well, they're for next week. They are taped because they have to be out of the Thunderdome.
They're moving tomorrow night
because the Thunderdome is on the move. So the Hall of Fame, the Raw and SmackDown for next week are taped.
Good to know.
Which that has to be, and then I don't, maybe even tomorrow's the SmackDown's taped. I don't know for sure, because I think it'd be weird to like tape next week's SmackDown and then do this week's SmackDown live tomorrow after you tape next week's. But that's why they get paid the big bucks, I guess. Let's start. The man who's back with us, Ryan.
How you doing?
Much improved. Real good. Glad to be back. I don't know what to tell you. I caught a case of the Ronies. So yeah. Hate to have it. It sucked real bad. So get vaccinated. Wear a mask. Do what you have to do. Don't let your guard down just yet. So yeah, it sucked real bad, but super glad to be back. Super glad to be here. I still have a little cough, so if I pop on the mute button or I forget to unmute myself, I was just probably coughing. But other than that, so good to be back.
Well, we are glad to
So
see
excited.
your face. I'm usually a stickler for the coughing thing, but we'll give you a pass.
Yeah, I don't know why it's this time of year. 4 years ago, and I just got reminded of this on Twitter. I had pneumonia.
Yeah,
4 years ago, and
I went to a go home Raw in Philly without
right. You guys ended up meeting Felicia Rose at that time.
We did.
And I just remember sick as hell watching the Joey Janela Spring Break, just coughing nonstop. The pneumonia was so shitty, but it was a great show, and I think the clusterfuck made it onto like my match of the year that year. It got me through a crappy time, and
4 years later,
I don't even know if I watched much wrestling when I really don't remember. I was tired. I did a lot of sleeping.
That's okay. That's all right.
But we're back.
So the news I got was you were in hibernation for WrestleMania season. That was a lie?
That was true.
Okay.
That was true. It wasn't purposely hibernating. I didn't like carb up or anything.
Okay.
But I did a lot of sleeping.
As soon as I heard that you heard that like there was going to be 9, 10, 11, 12 consecutive days of wrestling
Too many.
between Monday and the following Friday.
Right.
That you were just, I gotta sleep.
Like, I gotta sleep. I gotta take a break. I gotta nap this thing out.
That's the reason I was throwing up, not the reason I was sleeping.
There's so much wrestling.
Wait, you're telling me there's how much wrestling over a 14-day period?
It was so bad. It was bad. Right.
Intern Mark.
How you doing?
Oh, Mark.
Can't
hear a word you're saying.
Mark, you're muted. You're muted, Mark.
Oh, it's an elaborate April Fool's joke.
Oh, I got
Fool suckers.
That son of a. I'm gonna quit the goddamn show. You're something else, Mark. I knew I shouldn't have been on the show with you tonight. Taking
I
another
didn't even
week
talk
off.
during the pre-show. I just
didn't?
sat here silently. I didn't
sure
make
did.
a peep. That was hard.
Got it.
Peeps suck, by the way.
What?
Since you said the word peep.
Peeps are all right, Jim. You're a jerk.
You are a
Did you-
jerk.
Did anybody try that Pepsi Peeps or whatever it is?
No,
Peeps and Pepsi?
I'd rather lick the.
I
inside of the
tried.
tailpipe.
Oh, you mean the Pepsi Peep? The Peep Pepsi.
Pepsi Peep. Peep
I didn't
Pepsi.
try that. They have a root beer float flavored Peep, which was really good.
What?
I would just rather have a root beer float
Yeah.
instead of it in terrible marshmallow.
If you're at a
form.
candy store, you can't get a root beer float. I'm just saying.
Root beer float, Peep.
Mark, I've been gone for 2 weeks. How's the beard looking, Haas?
It's good.
It
I
grew
gotta
so
trim it up.
much. It grew so much.
Like
I want to
it's
keep it
hidden.
long.
It's hidden in the black shirt, and then
It is. It's
It's very
I
Jim
can
the
undo
Anvil
this.
of you.
Well,
that-
whenever Hezekiah lets you go, Mark, and you can return back to your ways, just let us know. And
unreal.
he's on reverse Rupspringer. He's just
I am on reverse Rumspringa.
he's like, I can't. I've given away all of my electronical goods except for my phone to podcast with.
That's right. I gave away my laptop. I'm kidding. I don't have a laptop.
It's all gone.
But if I did, I would have given it away. But
We know you don't. Tim,
How you doing?
I'm good, man. Life is good. Good to have Ryan back. I'm very excited for that. I've got the fever. I've got not the one Ryan's had for like.
I was gonna
You
say,
have a good fever.
I've got WrestleMania fever, boys. It's in my bones. It's like
it's getting real now. It's upon us.
with all the news that's been going out and coming around about everything in the world of the double E, and just wrestling. And yeah, that was Vladimir Kozlov.
Double E.
I love double E. I've actually gone and before I talk about that, Big Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Rough couple of days, but I'm definitely better today seeing Ryan's beautiful face back with us. Definitely a sign of relief over here.
Yeah, that'll do
Charlie
it.
says he's got the takeover fever.
Yeah, takeover fever usually comes before WrestleMania fever. I'm counting it all together in like a big conglomerate.
Yeah,
it's like
it's all bleeding
WrestleMania.
together.
It's WrestleMania week fever. Like I'm hyped for the Hall of Fame. Like I'm hyped for that. I'm hyped for Raw. I'm hyped for everything.
Play it, Jim. Play it.
Oh God, play the slow one.
Oh, that's the only one that counts. Touches me. Join us next week for a Carmella dance break.
Dance break. But so I'm
get that for free. You guys get this for free.
I know,
video.
right?
How about that?
For eternity. But I've got WrestleMania fever so much that I'm an idiot and I created a Google Doc.
Oh no.
Not only outlining every WrestleMania match that has ever happened in the WrestleMania match and what title it was for. I went on to make a spreadsheet that showed every wrestler who has wrestled at WrestleMania, which manias they wrestled at, and how many total WrestleManias they've been in.
That's a lot of things.
It is.
That's a lot of things.
So before we get into our podcast,
sure.
I actually found a fun tidbit of trivia.
Oh, okay.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 13 wrestlers in the history of WrestleMania.
History of history.
That have wrestled at least 10 WrestleManias. Now, to put that into perspective, there are 13 that have wrestled at 10, but there is a grand total of 400 and where's the actual number at? Come on, load up. I think there's 410 people that have wrestled at WrestleMania.
So at least had at least one match at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Jeez,
Does that include celebrities?
Yes, it does.
So Snooki is on that list.
Snooki made the list.
410 have had at least one match.
Wow.
But only 13 have had double-digit WrestleMania match appearances.
That's wild.
Okay.
Can you guys name as many as you can? Collectively, as a group.
The Undertaker?
The Undertaker is first with 27.
Kane.
Wow.
Kane has 17.
Okay.
Triple H has to be on there.
Triple H has 22.
Okay. 22. Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels also has 17.
Okay. John Cena.
John Cena has 15.
Boy, you think the Big Show's on there? I hate to say it.
The Big Show is 15.
Wow, nice.
So this is over 10?
10 or more.
Is Bret Hart on there?
Bret Hart is 13.
Yep.
And how many wrestlers are there total?
13.
There's 13. We're at 7.
Yep.
10 or more.
10 or more.
I think Tito Santana wrestled at 9 of them.
Hulk Hogan is on the list. Who did you say? Tito Santana?
Yeah, I think he only wrestled at 9. I don't think he made it to 10.
He was in the first. So he was at 1 through 7 or 1 through 8 and was in the dark match at 9.
So he missed out.
This is I saw this in the comments, but Etch
has 11.
Okay.
So now
Randy Orton.
We're at 9.
Randy Orton has 16.
That's 10. We have 3 more.
Yep, you have 3
The Rock?
more. The Rock has 11. So there's 2 more.
Go us.
I know.
Wait a minute. What about
Batista?
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair does not. Batista does not.
Okay. How many does Batista have? Do you know offhand?
I would have to pull up the document, but I can also access the document relatively quickly.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep thinking here.
Give me a moment.
I don't believe it was 10, but is Austin on the list?
Austin does not have 10.
I didn't think he would.
Okay, I've got the spreadsheet. Just need my other list to pull up. Here we go.
Spread them.
So
I'm
gonna guess this. Randy Savage.
Randy Savage has 8.
Okay.
He was
I knew it was gonna be close.
2 through 10, but he missed 9. So Batista has 7. Let me get a Ric Flair. Ric Flair has 5.
Okay.
Man, I feel like these are going to be are real tough, and folks we're not thinking of.
So,
Mark Henry.
Foley?
Okay, Mark Henry. Neither of those are on the list. Mick Foley has wrestled at 6.
Only 6.
And Mark Henry has wrestled at 7.
Sheamus?
Not Sheamus. Sheamus has wrestled at where's his name at? Crap, where's his name? Right here. Sheamus is at 8.
Are we talking more modern superstars at this point, or are we talking older? 1
still wrestles.
Okay.
And 1 is retired.
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler is at 9.
Damn it.
That was a good guess, Jim.
He is one of the few. He is one of the few people that will hit 10. Or actually, sorry, Dolph Ziggler's at 8. Sorry.
Oh, he'll still hit 10.
There are a few superstars right now that after this WrestleMania, they will have 10. Like Kofi Kingston is at 9.
Okay.
So it's not Kofi. Kurt Angle is at 9. I'm giving guys
really?
away.
He's at 9. Wow.
Matt Hardy is at 9.
Jeff Hardy?
Jeff Hardy has fewer, I think. Jeff Hardy has 7.
Oh, you know.
Oh yeah,
that's right. He left the company.
Yeah, he had a little bit of.
Jeff actually has 6. Holy shit!
Yikes.
What mania are we going into? 36?
37.
We're going to 37, 31, 30. So that he's not up there.
Trish Stratus?
Not Trish. Trish has only wrestled at 5 WrestleManias.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any women that close.
Like The Miz is at 8.
is Mr. McMahon's son.
So, the Ward McMahon is at 6. He'll be at 7.
Okay.
So 1 is...
When did Brock?
Brock is at... Oh, sorry. Hold on. Brock is on the list, isn't he? Okay, so I remember when I took the picture. Yep. So Brock... Hold on. Sorry. Yep. So
Sorry.
Brock is actually on the list too. So there's 14. Brock is on the list. You're still missing 2. Brock's
You're still missing the same 2 is what
yeah.
you're telling me.
Brock's 10th was last WrestleMania.
Okay.
So I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
The person who still wrestles does not wrestle for WWE.
Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho is on the list.
Okay.
I'll be darned.
Disrespectful, stupid idiot.
That checks out.
And to tie it full circle, the other person with 10 is going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year.
Brie Bella.
RVD.
No.
Who's the other guy? I have it on my list.
It's not the Great Khali.
It's not the Great Khali. Brie Bella's had 3 for the record.
Oh, shucks.
Molly. No, not Molly Holly. Is it this year's class or last? It would be last year's class then. JBL.
Kevin Nash.
JBL.
It stinks.
I will never, and it's nothing against JBL personally, but that was just a time I stopped watching wrestling in college.
What the post APA run?
Right, his entire singles run. I'll never remember it because I didn't experience.
Yeah, that was during my dead era.
Like that him versus John Cena match where he threw him through the lamp, like the light. Like I
love lamp.
That one.
Are you sure about that?
God, I missed those fucking sound effects.
Batista's at 7. So JBL's 10 is actually a very weird 10. So he wrestled
he was Justin Hawk, wasn't he, at one of them?
He was Blackjack Bradshaw at 13.
Okay.
So he wrestled at 13, 14, 2000, 17, 18, off at 19, 20, 21, 22, off at 23, 24, and 25.
Wow.
When I tell you that, so I made this document because on the next 2 episodes of Final Wrestling Place, we're making a good place WrestleMania and a bad place WrestleMania card, but we have to take one from every WrestleMania.
Oh,
and
wow.
we can't
That makes sense then.
And we can't use a wrestler more than once.
So what, 36 matches?
36 matches.
About as long as this year's?
Yes.
Cool. No, it's a episode of AEW Dark.
Dark Evolution.
Dark Evolution.
Dark Evolution.
Evolution, elevation, inflation,
asphyxiation. Yeah, so I've literally made this document over the last 2 days, and it has been a labor of love, so much so that I have locked it so only I can edit it. And
Smart.
I don't want anyone touching this thing because I'm going to add this year's main, because now that I have the list,
right, you keep that bad boy
Oh
running.
yeah, that's a list that you continue to roll with.
like this is a sexy
I bet you don't have
checklist.
lists like that, Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, all of his lists are fabricated, but yeah, it's in alphabetical order. It's so great. There is a whole. It's very surprising how many people only have like one WrestleMania that aren't celebrities.
Right.
Like,
Let's
Dynamite
look that
Kid?
list. Maven.
let me sort this by.
While you're doing that, let me hit the today in history. We'll revisit this, the bottom of the list at number 1. So let's hit the
Wait,
the weekly
we call
stat-
it Today in History? That's what we call it?
No.
Well, you called it Today in History.
Well, I know, but we're looking at April the 1st.
Do it right or don't do it. That's all I'm saying.
While we do the Tim can look. Tim can look at his list. We're looking, of course, at April 1st in pro wrestling history. One
Shane
birthday.
McMahon.
Yes, there it is.
Oh no.
The best in the world.
Tim's upset.
I don't even care this week. Dry your eyes there, buddy.
Shane McMahon.
Now you can do your gimmick.
Thank you. One birthday, Randy Orton was born today back in 1980. Then we go to 1990.
Fuck you, Ryan.
WrestleMania 6.
Was that 1980 BC for Randy Orton?
Yes, yeah. He's on the wrong side of 400. WrestleMania 6 takes place from the Sky Dome in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, in front of 67,678 fans. The tagline for the show was the Ultimate Challenge. The show featured one dark match, 14 main card matches, and was main evented by the Ultimate Warrior defeating Hulk Hogan to retain the Intercontinental Championship and win the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. 2001 WrestleMania 17, or X7, takes place from the Reliant Astrodome in Houston, Texas, in front of 67,925 fans. The tagline for the show was Houston, we have a problem. Actually, the guy,
Houston, we have a problem.
and the show had a buy rate of 1,040,000. The show featured one match on the pre-show during Sunday Night Heat. 11 main card matches, was main evented by Stone Cold Steve Austin defeating The Rock to win the WWF Championship. Of course, also featured Austin turning heel and aligning with Vince McMahon. 2006, WWE held their Hall of Fame induction ceremony in conjunction with WrestleMania weekend, including Bret Hart, Eddie Guerrero, Gene Okerlund, the Blackjacks, Tony Atlas, Vern Gagne, Sherry Martel, and William the Refrigerator Perry. This, of course, is Bret Hart's first appearance at a WWE event following the 1997 Montreal Screwjob. 2007, WrestleMania 23 takes place from Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan, in front of 80,103 fans at a buy rate of 1,200,000. The show featured one dark match, 8 main card matches, main evented by John Cena defeating Shawn Michaels to retain the WWE Championship. 2008, former NWA World Champion Dusty Rhodes left his position on the WWE creative team to head up working on the creative end of WWE's developmental system. And finally, in 2012, WrestleMania 28 takes place from Sun Life Stadium in Miami, Florida, in front of 78,368 fans with a buy rate of 1,217,000. The tagline for the show was once in a lifetime. The show featured one pre-show match, 8 main card matches, and was main evented with The Rock defeating John Cena. Those are the events that occurred April the 1st in pro wrestling history. So Tim, who I think we were looking for people that had one match, right? Is that?
Yes. So Cowboy Bob Orton, one WrestleMania match.
Okay.
Technically, actually, that's not right. Never mind. Check him. Not Mark's favorite. Big Jim's favorite, Cameron.
That's a bummer.
No idea who that is.
One. Elias has one, but his debut was actually last WrestleMania. I'm trying to look for somebody who's been around a long time. Ivory. Wow. Ivory's only wrestled at one WrestleMania.
Wow, that's hard to believe.
Jeff Jarrett only wrestled at one WrestleMania.
Well, see, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Let me see who else.
Who did Orton wrestle? I can't remember.
Was that WrestleMania 2?
Cowboy Bob Orton.
Was that one? He was in the corner of Piper and Orndorff, but I don't think he actually wrestled.
Yes. So Cowboy Bob Orton was at WrestleMania 3 in the opener. Can-Am
Oh,
Connection
that's
versus Bob Orton and Don
Yep.
Morocco.
That's right. He was.
There was somebody else on the list that I just looked at. Lita.
No way.
Lita
one?
has only wrestled at one WrestleMania. She was in the WrestleMania 18 Triple Threat.
Wow.
Holy hell, yeah! I would have thought she would have had a couple.
Yep.
But she interfered in that TLC match
At
one
17.
WrestleMania,
Yep.
but it wasn't actually part of the
Wasn't
match.
actually in the match. Wow.
As a
okay.
participant of sorts.
Paige has only wrestled at one WrestleMania.
Wow.
31. That was 31. She teamed with AJ against the Bellas.
Yep. Let me see who else. Rhino has only wrestled at one.
He's got kids.
Who?
That's Heath Slater.
Rhino also had kids.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people had kids.
No, the story on that, after a LCW show, we went up and we were talking to him about
Very nice guy.
super nice, jumping on the pod, and that was, I think, right around the time he had done a couple of like guest matches on
In NXT. Yeah.
and then that was right before he had signed, and he's like, I gotta pay the bills, got kids.
Gotta watch out what I say.
Gotta
People
watch out
can
what I
edit
say.
shit on these podcasts. So,
So lastly, these
Lashley, really?
no, lastly,
Lashley.
these Titans of Wrestling. These Titans of Wrestling have only had one WrestleMania match.
All right.
Wade Barrett,
Okay.
Titus O'Neil,
Okay.
Sting,
Who?
Stephanie McMahon,
That's shocking.
I know,
And-
she created women's wrestling.
and Nicholas.
That's former world.
He's gone.
Oh shit! I hit a button. I keep hitting the button. Fucking Nicholas.
That's former Raw Tag Team Champion Nicholas.
Undefeated at WrestleMania,
undefeated.
Nicholas.
He's the next streak, man.
It's
He's
the
next-
new streak.
Now, who Nicholas is related to somebody, isn't he? I can't remember who that
It's
was.
John
Cone.
Cone's kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Referee.
Referee John Cone.
Oh,
Or
that's
Matt
awesome.
Nicholas.
Could have left him in the fucking car.
Yeah. a disaster.
There's 177 wrestlers that have had one match at WrestleMania.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, considering that like everyone from the WrestleMania 2 Battle Royal.
Oh,
Yeah, that
that's
makes
true.
sense.
There's a lot. the
There's a
Andre
lot of Battle Royals.
the women-
Yeah,
the women's battle royals, the,
the
gimmick
tag
battle
team
royal.
gimmick battle royal, tag team battle royal at
Yeah.
14, the battle royal at WrestleMania 5 or 4, WrestleMania 4.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and like you used to get a lot of matches on those early WrestleMania cards where you'd have like a 33-second match between like Bulldog and Warlord.
Now, do pre-show matches count for what you
No,
were doing?
because it's not WrestleMania.
So it's just
So, like the ladies' battle. So Michael Che is not on this list.
No, Michael Che, Colin Jost.
bullshit.
No, not on the list.
Got it. Got it.
What about the midgets? Are they on the list?
Lord Chester
Little
Rook.
Haiti,
Or Little
or
Brook,
Haiti
Sky
Kid,
Lolo.
Scott,
Little Beaver.
Little Beaver, Lord Littlebrook, and
Sky Lolo.
it wasn't Sky,
Little
Little Tokyo.
3?
yeah, Little Tokyo.
No, it wasn't 3, was it?
Yeah, WrestleMania 3. It was
Was it
ha-
3?
Three.
Okay.
It was Hillbilly
Yeah.
Jim, Haiti Kid, and Little Tokyo. Or Little Beaver, sorry.
Imagine trying
Against
to pass
yeah,
some of those names off today.
King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord
Little
Littlebrook.
Tokyo.
Yeah, it's tough.
And none of them are in the Hall of Fame. That's a shame. We need a.
Hillbilly
Little person
Jim is absolutely in the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
I think he was
thinking
talking
of
about
the
the little people.
Oh well,
I got to call a little person match, and I didn't necessarily know how I was gonna take it. And then you just go like full heel and just say midget a lot, and you're fine.
That wasn't
That's
the
hurtful.
the micro championship wrestling, was it?
No. It was.
This was at ACW.
It was at an Atomic show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my
Who is
God,
the
that
who's the one little person?
There was a few of them.
But like the
I forget
one that like
yeah, there was
puppet.
one.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I'm not sure.
He was in
Mr. Chow
Impact.
Mr. Chow.
was one of them. Then he came out as Chowberg, which was fun.
There was the one that was hanging around at a couple shows. I can't remember his name. The one little person.
Mr. Chow versus Jay Savage.
I
Jay
just
Savage.
remember how uncomfortable I was at that micro championship wrestling show. When
I wasn't. My ass got on my knees to get a picture with Meatball.
What? No. Like, but
Which, looking back on it, I probably should have just.
Was Heavy Metal Mario there?
No.
The in-house MC, the guy who like owned the company that unfortunately has passed away.
He's
that, like,
passed away now. Yeah.
was calling the action over the PA.
What the hell was his name? Something Green.
John Green?
Tom Green?
Yeah, I don't know. He sounded like
Johnny Attitude Green.
Yeah,
Johnny Green.
And, I mean,
Johnny Green.
I heard the word midget more times that night than I had heard in years.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
I mean, it was Midgets with Attitude is the name of the
Well, yeah.
promotion.
And I mean, probably that the lasting moment of commentary from him that sticks out to me on that night was, I don't remember the superstar that went up to the top rope.
That was Cowboy Kid Quick.
And he actually said, "That's like a skyscraper to him." And I'm just like, I'm sitting there like, this is okay, right? Like, this is the gimmick, right?
I have never heard a man speak with such gravel in his voice.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's like he smoked 13 packs of Newports
and
then grabbed the microphone.
Just had like a sack of asphalt, like right here, just hanging out right there.
That's not nice to say.
I will never forget his voice.
Nope.
Ever.
Certainly will not. All right, that was a
Jim, I think there's a picture of you and you and me with a few of the
yeah, I think the picture
the
you were
stars.
talking about where you had gotten
that was very different. I'll try to find that. I'll send it to the group chat.
Okay. But yeah, there's a picture of you and I with the roster as well. But
we were just standing in front of him. You couldn't see him. It's just me and you.
Between being tall and being fat. I mean,
yeah, it was bad.
Everybody else disappeared. Actually happens with most people. If Ryan and I are in a picture, you can't see him.
But you're going to see that time we met Lex Luger because he was sitting by. Never mind.
Oh, good Lord! If you're still following along with us,
he
in the
was
live video,
sitting behind us.
If you're still on the live video, give it a like, give it a share.
You thought it was funny. Remember, you locked his wheels and you walked. You were a dick.
Wow! Woo. Wow! Wow!
You're not a nice person, Jim.
Remember that?
Ryan's back, everybody. Ryan is back.
Didn't you try to play tag with him and then you ran upstairs so he couldn't?
No! Stop it!
Oh no! I can say something real freaking.
No, don't do it. Okay, so today is April Fool's Day, so I want to talk about. I just thought of this today, like some of the best, either comedy gimmicks or like comedic relief superstars that have been hot. Now Tim's giggling. Oh no. Go ahead, Tim.
Tim is giggling. Look at him.
Christian Lex Luger.
Oh no. Oh wow.
Hey, Ryan, how did those the little people shows measure up compared to the other ACW shows?
Come on, man.
About 3 feet.
I know there are those that think little of the midget shows, but hey, it is what it is.
They had I don't know, big shoes to fill. I don't know, Mark. I don't know what you want for me.
I hope everyone's enjoying what'll probably be the last 3 Count Thursday.
But if I'm being completely honest with my comedy gimmicks,
look at I sent the picture of me and Meatball. Look at the baby face on me.
You and Meatball.
Oh yeah, when you shave your face, you're definitely.
I am.
You're definitely a young looking.
You're like
guy.
Ron. You're like a little cub.
I was.
Little cub.
I bet I could beat up Meatball.
I don't know.
He still wrestles. He actually just wrestled Jay Savage down in like Florida, at some like small person wrestling match on the beach.
Okay.
I don't know what you want to call it. And the picture of all of the MCW guys, they were actually all in front of Jim and I and they covered a bit of us.
Yeah. But comedy gimmicks, comedic gimmicks. I mean, the first one that came to mind, and it's not
MCW, half the size, twice the violence.
If you look on screen right now, on
did you
3,
put up-
I sure did.
Oh no!
Here's Ryan and his son.
He clearly looks older than me.
Ryan
Does he
Meatball.
though?
it's like Meatball and his son Ryan. Actually,
I'm so proud of my little dad.
Ryan's cheesing in the photo.
oh man.
Oh, I missed this.
I'm so proud of
Happy
My
April
favorite
Fool.
comedy gimmick is the bit we're doing right now.
I'm so proud of my little dad.
I'm so proud of my little dad. He's so great.
A little dad.
Yo, little
Oh,
dad.
That is a sitcom waiting to
I was
happen.
going to say that's a sitcom. My little dad.
Little dad.
My little dad. Ryan, I understand Meatball really looked up to you.
So R-Truth has got to be like
Yeah,
on the
not
list.
That's the first name I was trying to get
Yeah.
to.
R-Truth.
I kept that picture on the screen way too long.
Yeah, that's long. That's uncomfortable. I'm watching it now, and it's.
I
It's still
forgot
up
to
there.
change
Going,
it back.
What the hell is happening?
So
Ryan
R-Truth
and Meatball.
Meatball and me.
for all the stuff,
On top of Old Smoky.
stop it. For
I
all
wish
the
somebody would have
That
told me
wasn't. That was
my-
the after show.
that my goddamn picture has like my face cut off. As a by the way, I would have loved to have known that.
you're great. You're golden pony boy.
I didn't know it zoomed in.
Hey, look. All right, I'm trying to talk about wrestling, and you guys are talking
Son of a
about
bitch.
cut off shit and being on top of
About-
Smokey.
We're talking about Meatball being on top of Old Smoky after the show.
Jesus Christ.
You guys got to. R-Truth is a national treasure, and Lil Jimmy was hilarious, and his 24/7 championship stuff is hilarious. Yeah. What about you, Big Jim? What's yours?
I'm gonna throw up. No.
I don't remember him.
He's
Who's-
got a puke.
He's gonna puke. R-Truth was the first name I had on the list. Another one from somewhat recent recent era is when Sandow was Damian Mizdow. Like the
Oh,
stunt
that was
double
good.
stuff was just
good.
fantastic, especially when he's outside the ring and Miz is taking, arm drags, and then Mizdow just throwing himself around outside the ring. It was amazing.
That
Or
was
like-
real good.
When Miz would get like shoved down, and then he'd like look over at Mizdow, and then Mizdow would just take a freaking bump. Like it just, I whoever's credited for that, extremely well done. Ryan,
Yeah.
you got one?
Nia Jax.
My whole.
My hole. No, I don't want to waste my pick on that person. We'll go with Santino Marella and Santina. I thought Santino was always great with the snake and the whole I thought it was fun. So I
With
will
the
go with
cobra.
Santina. And I'm not even sure if we could do a Santina today. I don't think we could. Santina
was
doesn't
in
fly.
one of the women's Royal Rumbles, I believe.
So she was in a women's Royal Rumble, and she is actually the only person claimed to be Miss WrestleMania because
Right.
she won the Battle Royal at 25.
That's right.
There it is, folks.
I remember.
Was she
I remember in-
recently? Did they trot her out recently?
It was the 2019 Women's Rumble, I believe.
I mean, she didn't eliminate anybody. I guess
No,
if you
I
can do
think-
it strictly as comedy,
No.
he
I think
comes
she
in
came
and gets
out,
dumped right out.
It was blatantly comedic, and then I think she got
Okay.
eliminated because it wasn't the first one. It wasn't the one in Philly because that would not have landed.
Was it 2020?
It might have
might
been
have
last
been.
year's actually.
might
It
have
was
been.
2020.
Oh, it may have
Okay.
been.
Wow. Okay, so I guess you can.
She
do it
was
as long as
she
you
was
left
number
it off.
19.
I mean, I know
Or
I know
29,
people weren't-
sorry.
I know people weren't happy about it. I do remember that, but
Right. I don't think you can do it as like a full-time gimmick like they did.
no.
Okay, and Molly Holly came out as Mighty Molly, but she's not a real superhero. I don't.
All right. As a by the way, did anybody catch the top 50 women documentary thing?
We talked about it.
I know. I didn't listen. I'm
You
not gonna
slipped
lie.
and fell all the way to Capitol Diner last week, and you couldn't be here.
While they were
Your food
still plating my food.
Yes, your food's being plated right now.
I was shocked at
It'll
how
be out
much
in 45 minutes.
intergender wrestling happened back then. And maybe they were just highlighting specific moments, but like Molly Holly was in an intergender match. A lot of stuff with China. I didn't remember that. And I really thought it was a much newer thing. Really with like James Ellsworthy sort of time frame. Like I totally forgot about some of the shit that happened back in like the Attitude Era that actually was intergender wrestling.
So I was just watching Botchamania, and
Always a good watch.
they do excerpts from like wrestlers' books, and Faye Jackson read an excerpt from Hardcore Holly's book.
Okay.
Where he talks about a match that actually happened on SmackDown.
Okay.
Crash and Hardcore Holly versus Moolah and Mae Young.
Oh my.
And Hardcore Holly lights up 80-year-old Mae Young with the hardest clothesline an old person has ever been hit with.
I can't wait to see this.
It is great.
It's gotta be on YouTube, right?
It's on the Botchamania. He clips in the video.
It probably won't make it to Peacock.
I don't have 40 minutes to wait.
It's not that long. You can
to
fast
watch
forward.
A freaking Botchamania.
Just
clip.
fast forward till you see Faye Jackson and then watch, okay? It's like at the very end.
I typed in Hardcore Jolly. That's very different.
Yes, it is. You better turn safe search on.
Get shot in the mouth.
Record Jolly.
Intern Mark.
Come in my face.
No. Intern Mark, you got any comedy gimmicks besides
A
this
comedy
one?
gimmick. I'll tell you what, I think one of my favorites, now this is going back old school, and this is later in his career, comedy gimmick George the Animal Steel, but it was only later in his career when he was more in his prime. He was a nasty, mean old heel. In the mid-'80s, he was a comedy gimmick.
When he started chewing the turnbuckles and that
Turnbuckles.
sort of thing. Yeah.
That he was sexually harassing Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yep. Another thing
you
that
know, he-
wouldn't land too well today, I'm sure.
What? Wonder if that'll make it on Peacock.
I mean, that might be right along the line of what does and doesn't. Tim, are there any other ones that you had?
Who?
Because there's two more I have written down.
I gotta think about it. Full on comedy gimmick Jones. Give me one of yours.
I mean, there was points where he was comedy / comedic relief. There was points obviously where he was heelish, but Doink the Clown,
Yeah.
I think at points
Yeah,
was like comedic, and then also Gilbert.
The entire Job Squad.
Job Squad, yeah.
But Gilbert came to mind. I'm like, he's literally spoofing Goldberg. I mean, it's a spoof. So those were the
Gilbert
four. R-Truth, Mizdow, Doink, and Gilbert are the four that I have written down.
Gilbert was great. Love Gilbert.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't think he ever really wrestled. It was kind of a comedy thing. Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
Yeah, the original MVP.
You know, just with the sign on strike, shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
we
relevant
had, the Goon.
to the. I think that was the year the baseball strike, right? Like it was relevant.
Brooklyn Brawler tweeted today, "Happy opening day for baseball," and it was the promo shot of Abe
nice.
Knuckleball Schwartz.
Nice, good stuff.
I did retweet that one today.
So I found a list. I don't know how old this is. It's from 2015.
You just made the list.
20 funniest gimmicks.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear that one. Then we'll move to
The Repo Man.
I love Repo Man.
I love Repo
Perry,
Man.
Saturn, and Moppy.
Oh yeah.
Moppy was great.
The Mountie. Gilberg.
Okay, was the Mountie really?
I feel like it was an over-the-top characterization of a Canadian.
Everything in 1992.
It's a
WWF
list.
was
It's
over
just
the top.
a list.
He was
I
a
think
heel.
you could make an argument because he
Yeah.
was a heel comedy to what
all
the
right.
Big Boss Man, right? Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that cattle prod. That wasn't any laughing matter.
that
was
scared the
not.
shit out of me as a kid.
Scared
I
the
thought
hell
that
out
was
of me.
real legit.
There's Gilberg, Bo Dallas, Simon Dean,
Oh wow, I forgot
okay.
about Simon Dean.
3MB,
Okay.
Dr. Shelby.
Ah,
Hey,
he didn't wrestle though, did he?
no.
No.
I mean, it's still a
But it's a
featured-
character.
featured character.
Gold Dust.
Yeah, there was
When he
definitely
was
points
when he
where it
was when he was stuttering all over the world.
that was
Howard
just
Stern
good.
still riffs on that.
Yeah.
The Hurricane,
Yeah. Okay.
The Hurricane and
Crash
Rosie.
Holly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they also have Eddie Guerrero on the list from Los Guerreros and stuff with the line cheating and stealing. Like,
Okay.
All right.
Is that when they came out on lawnmowers?
they came.
Nah,
well, no,
that-
they came out on that.
Nah.
You're confusing them with the Mexicools.
Oh, that was
The
the Mexicools.
Mexicools.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, they always did
Yeah.
lowriders. But like,
They had the Juan Deere.
if I could impart some homework to the 3 Count Thursday family,
Ain't doing it.
go back and watch the vignettes on the debut of Los Guerreros.
Okay.
It's Chavo and Eddie like pretending to be golf caddies, pool guys, delivery guys, and
So
basically,
this would have been pre-Kerwin White.
yeah, this was like 2000, like late 2001, early 2002.
Is this Chavo's debut?
It's Los Guerreros' debut together.
A
As a
quick
team.
yay or nay. Does Kerwin White make it to Peacock?
Not.
Yes.
Make it the
I
Peacock.
hope not.
Yes. I don't think you do it today though.
Is there
What,
more?
what was it? If it ain't white, it ain't right. Is that
Yes.
what he used to
Yeah, I
say?
think that's what he used to say.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. That doesn't make it live today.
Because like to the best of my the best of my knowledge, there's 3 things that haven't made it to Peacock so far. It's Piper's half black promo. It's Vince McMahon's Hershey, and there was one this week that didn't. Oh, the DX as
DX
they were
Nation
in
of
blackface.
Domination promo.
Right.
So
It's literally anything with blackface is getting taken off of Peacock. There's a couple of episodes of 30 Rock. That's an NBC property.
yeah, there's some things from SNL that haven't been put on.
Which
Peacock.
makes me now want to go back and look at The Office and look for like Michael Klump.
Keep those DVDs, folks.
Mhm.
Think I was crazy.
So like it's basically things that probably should have never made it to air to begin with aren't making.
you're
it to
right,
air through
right.
Peacock. Continue with
And real quick, that's I think entirely okay to have done something at that time that probably shouldn't have been done, but still got a laugh for that time. Again, I was very immature back
Sure.
then, just along with anybody else. You know, high school, I thought it was a funny thing to see DX out there. I didn't even give much thought to them being blackface. They were just portraying the character.
Right.
And I never thought I never thought of it as like a racist thing. Mark Henry's a black guy, so Ms. Mark Henry should be a black guy. So
Right.
you live and you learn and you get better, and it's not a problem to take it away. It
Yeah.
happened. We can acknowledge it happened, but we don't have to flaunt it anymore, and we can just move on from it.
Yeah.
PSA: the more you know.
I'll always say when referring to the 2000s that the 2000s were a hell of a time. Like in a microcosm, one of the biggest things in the history of the world or the history of the United States and pop culture in the 2000s was Jackass.
Oh yeah.
would never happen now.
You know they're making another movie, right?
Yes, and it's cashing off nostalgia. And that's all.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
But
because
yeah.
idiots like us are going to be like, I remember that.
Bingo.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I remember him when he wasn't 47 years old.
But Jim, I know like you and I specifically, like we were watching the CKY videos before Jackass came out. Like,
yeah.
you know, we
CKY2K,
I always
man.
found it funny when people fell over and you squirting mustard on a guy that doesn't like mustard.
Sure.
Like,
I mean,
woo woo. I always laughed at that stuff.
yeah, it's goofy, silly humor.
Right.
It is. I mean,
It's not for everybody. I get it.
I mean, even like Jackass 3, like there's times I'll still go back and watch it. Like there's the one where they do the T-ball thing where he knocks it into Steve-O's nuts. It's still funny to me.
It's still funny.
It's still funny to me.
To me, like the
Johnny
funny
Knoxville dressed up as an old man with his nuts hanging out of his like tighty whities and shorts. Hilarious. I'll still laugh at it. That's fine. Think of my IQ low. I don't give a shit.
like to me, one of the funniest things is the shark clippers.
Oh, I love the shark clippers.
And just my god, I can laugh. I can look and laugh at that. But if that shit happened to me, I would be madder than a wet hornet, dude. I'd be so pissed if somebody just came up to me and just
like
if your hair was short, it wouldn't matter to you, right?
It would. It would.
If somebody did that to me now, I wouldn't care. But if
Jim, you don't have much hair to do it with at all.
I mean,
like, okay, I didn't know that was even there.
Because I haven't cut my hair in a while.
Okay.
But like, so
Yeah,
that's why it wouldn't matter.
I know that feel.
But yeah, when I had my hair long like Tim's,
right,
I'd have messed somebody up, man. But like that's it. I almost find those in-betweener bits that they do like as funny or sometimes funnier, like in Jackass 3 when he did the Rocky where he came and he splashed water and then he did the boxing glove and he punched the guy in the face because you get hit with water. You're like, what did it? And then bam, you just get knocked. It's hilarious.
And remember the pointing thing we used to do at college?
Do I remember?
Or
The
anytime
point, if you look, you get slapped.
Oh, Preston Lacey chasing Wee Man.
Oh my god!
All the time.
Just
well,
funny
then
stuff.
they went in the store, and then when they came out, like they had swapped out a little person for Preston.
Yes.
Just hilarious. It's this funny, stupid thing. Tim, finish out the list, then we'll go to break. Then we'll hit the other stuff.
I already did. I already finished.
Oh, that was already
we
the
have
list?
other stuff.
We actually do. Yes,
You
right.
forgot to send me the list.
I didn't know. You definitely got the list.
Man,
you definitely got the
you
list.
must have
for
thought I
sure.
was not
Hey, we also have a 3-count question of the week.
Oh,
we do
son
have
of a
one of those.
bitch.
We'll
What
get
is
to
that? Well, that's not the comedy gimmick. Oh
No,
shit!
it's certainly not. We'll get to
Oh
that.
man.
We'll get to that. We'll get to our superstar Mount Rushmore and much more on the other side of the break. Stick with us. 3-Count Thursday live.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis on all things sports. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, subscribe to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports, and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
Are you looking for a place to listen to your favorite music and sports? Look no further. WLSN, the Lieb Sports and Music Network, is a web-based music and sports network. Our network was created to provide authentic, high-energy entertainment through live streaming to a national audience. We play popular music while hosting podcasts from all over the world. Curious? Check us out on the web at leibsports.com. That's LEEIB sports.com. Or find us on the TuneIn Radio app. Got Alexa? Just say, Alexa, play WLSN on TuneIn. WLSN is America's #1 blog-themed sports and music network.
Welcome back, 3 Count Thursday. We are live, facebook.com/3 Count Thursday. Make sure you are following us on all of our social media so that when we do our live shows, you don't miss them. Make sure you're subscribed on all podcast platforms, YouTube as well. This Sunday night, we'll have a watch along dropping. This is one Ryan and I had recorded all the way back in the month of January, and I decided to dig back in the rainy day fund, and that one will go up on our podcast feed and our YouTube and Facebook page Sunday evening this week, and that is from the first NXT UK takeover. It's a match Ryan tried to get me to watch for over 2 years, and it finally happened. So you can check that. Make sure you go to whatamaneuver.net, check out our merchandise, and you will be able to pick up some great stuff over there. More designs probably coming here in a little bit as well.
Merchandising.
So this is one I actually did speaking of watch-alongs as well, a friend of the show, Ernest Christian. He has the Earnestly Speaking podcast. He also does the Take 3 Wrestling podcast. But on the Earnestly Speaking podcast, we did a watch-along, the Warrior Savage match from WrestleMania 7. So if you want to check that out, hear me over there with him. But while we were preparing for that, he kind of brought this up, so I'm stealing this topic from him. I don't even know if they're going to do it on Take 3 or not, but we've done a lot of the Mount Rushmore series, and being that this is WrestleMania season, feel like this one's kind of appropriate as well. The superstars of WrestleMania Mount Rushmore. So who would be your top 4, your personal top 4 WrestleMania superstars? Is there anybody that wants to start us off? Do we want to go one at a time? Do you want to give your full top 4? Does anybody want to kick us off?
Let's do one at a time. I think there's going to be some repeaters.
Okay.
And Tim, I just watched that. He didn't lay it in that tight.
For an 80-year-old woman?
Yeah, you made it sound much worse.
I'm sorry, you
like
clothesline 80-year-old women harder than that.
You made it sound like it was a JBL clothesline from hell.
For an 80-year-old woman, it might as well be.
He might as well have short-armed it.
80.
He choked up. It was totally fine, totally safe.
80.
Not a big deal.
I think it's a big deal when you're 80.
It's not.
He could have broke a hip.
Does anybody want to start us off? I can start us off.
Go ahead, Big Jim.
All right, I'm going to kick us off. My number 1 is, the guy whose record is synonymous, career almost defined by WrestleMania, and that's The Undertaker.
Nicholas.
Now, that's Ryan's number 1. And he's gone again.
He's gone.
Oh, darn.
But yeah, Undertaker is my number 1. Tim, who's your number 1?
My number 1 is going to be, I'm going to go with, honestly, Triple H. Triple H has had so many WrestleMania moments, over the years. Can't go wrong with, old Triple H. He's got to make the list.
Nice. Intern Mark.
Well, you know something, dude.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi, boys. I gotta go with the Hulkster. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, there wouldn't have been a WrestleMania. So I got to put him on the list.
That's fair. Ryan, how about you?
That is fair. I will say that I did have The Undertaker and Hulk Hogan on my list as well. So two of mine are already eliminated. So I will go with Mr. WrestleMania himself, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Absolutely, bar none, has to be on the list. You don't get the name Mr. WrestleMania and not be etched in stone. Actually etched. Different etch.
Oh, different etch.
Different etch. But we're chiseling Shawn Michaels' mug up on the rocks.
Yeah. He's actually the one I have listed at number 2. I was actually surprised because as I was doing some research to make my top 4, Shawn Michaels has a 6-11 record at WrestleMania.
Can you be Mr. WrestleMania and lose all the time at WrestleMania?
Absolutely can, man.
Apparently you can.
Probably doing your job more, putting people over.
He lost to the Orient Express
with the Rockers. Yeah, that was WrestleMania 7, I believe.
We lost Brian.
I believe they lost to. All right, he lost to. Did he beat Tito?
Let's count Rocker Shawn Michaels as your leadoff blow.
Okay,
Did he lose to El Matador at WrestleMania 8?
Austin, Diesel, Taker
Twin
twice,
Towers.
John Cena. Let's see who else. Triple H, Stevie Richards.
So the dude that you have on your list and James has on his number 1, knowing it takes 2 to tango and put on those caliber matches, he absolutely deserves to be on this list. And Matt's not here to back me up, but he deserves it.
Exactly, because Matt had more important things to do, like be at the beach.
There's a Grotto Pizza closer to him than it is to any of us. He's in the right. We're in the wrong.
I'm pretty jelly about that at this point, if we're being honest. Tim, you're number 2.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
that's about right. The way he's acting.
I gotta give a full list because Undertaker's on my list, like obviously.
Okay.
So there.
But I mean, is he the person you have listed second?
No,
I was doing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
I did. I mean,
you said Undertaker. I'm like, oh, Undertaker, absolutely number 1. So I'm gonna say Triple H.
You absolutely. It's not a totem pole, Jim. This is Mount Rushmore. It goes sideways.
Well, I mean, but like
1, 2, 3,
right, like
4.
Washington's in the number 1 slot on Mount Rushmore.
You really look at Mount Rushmore 1 to 4?
Kinda. I mean,
really?
I mean,
I've never heard anybody
like
say that. Who else is up on there, Jim?
Isn't it? It's Washington, Adams, Jefferson, and Lincoln, right?
I actually wouldn't fucking know. I don't know why I asked.
No.
Teddy Roosevelt's up there.
It's Washington, Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, so I got a C. I got 3 out of 4. I had.
Will you stop?
I knew Teddy was up there.
Yeah,
how did he get up there? I don't even know.
I think he was the president at the time it was commissioned. Maybe, I don't know.
Good for him.
Yeah, that sounds right.
No, but I mean,
Teddy's like, yeah, I put my face up there.
Sure, go.
I'm paying for it.
Apparently
it's very underwhelming to actually see in person.
Well, yeah, you can't get anywhere near it, and it's like, I mean, you got to realize every picture you see of it's on like mega zoom.
Right.
Yeah, I've had friends that have like gone there. I mean, it's neat, but it's an underwhelming landmark because you can't get near it. It's way up at the top of a mountain, and you're way at the bottom.
Have you been to a landmark that absolutely blew your mind?
No, like I remember as a kid who went to Plymouth Rock, and you can't first off, you can't get near the rock, and it's literally just like a fucking rock on a beach.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, cool.
Going to Gettysburg.
Okay.
Gettysburg as a collective, like actually going on like the tour of where stuff happened, is kind of awe-inspiring. But I have to think like the number 1 most like jaw-droppingest landmark in America has to be the Grand Canyon, right?
I would think Niagara
so,
Falls.
yeah.
Niagara Falls blew me away. like
Well,
the cave of the winds.
But the
like
Canadian,
going.
that's the Canadian side's the more overwhelming of the Niagara Falls. Like
Yeah.
the U.S. side.
Yeah,
is,
you can see, correct. Yeah, the U.S. side though, like you can do the cave of the winds on the U.S. side, and water from the falls splashes onto a rock and splashes onto you, and you look up at a fall, and it is like I could die here. The boat
It's
ride's
wild.
really cool.
It's just water.
Ah man, it's do the
I mean,
cave of the
Grand
winds
Canyon's
thing, man.
just rocks.
It's gonna the Grand Canyon's a hole in the earth.
Niagara
I could go out to
Falls.
the fucking road and look at that.
Niagara Falls is a natural dam. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I can drive through any
you're
road
right.
in Lancaster County and see a shitload of holes.
Yeah. There's one that's consistently growing over at the what you call it? Isn't it still?
Tanger Outlet.
Yeah, that
Did they ever
sinkhole.
fill that in? Do we know?
I thought it was full. Last time I was there, I thought it was open. Maybe
Boy, that's one thing I'm glad I'm out of Pennsylvania for. I ain't got to worry about no damn sinkholes over here. Thank God, because
What, you have better soil?
not real. I mean, it's not better. It's just we don't have sinkholes.
Oh.
Yeah. Tim, Mark, who's next on your list?
Well, I had everybody on my list has been mentioned already. I had the Undertaker. That's two.
Ryan, is there anybody else on your list that
There
has
is. My fourth is I would carve out Stone Cold Steve Austin from WrestleMania 13, specifically that picture.
Nice. Very nice.
And I would have a little like red waterfall from his face that just
the blood drip.
Right. Yes, that's the absolute face that I would put there.
So even though
with waterfall.
So even though Stone Cold only wrestled at like
he's not on the 10 times list.
Manias.
Right, but you know exactly
13,
what picture I'm talking
14,
about, so fuck you.
13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19.
I just watched along that match with Final Wrestling Place.
Yeah, so
that what look, man, you can't sit here and say, well, that's like saying that the Bible's your favorite book.
I'm not saying that.
Or that my best friend is Jesus. Like, it doesn't
picture,
count.
And that's the one I'm etching up there.
That's fine. Some would say that's the only picture that you need to etch on any stone anywhere.
Probably. I don't know who would say that.
That'd be Stone Cold.
I mean, the Stone Cold Steve Austin Blood from a Stone is absolutely like the most iconic single photo in wrestling, right?
So we should probably put that in some stone. Look, I even have waterworks, but what are you getting on my shit for?
I'm just messing with you.
I know you are.
We haven't been able to give you shit for like a month, Ryan. This is all.
I don't appreciate it.
I haven't talked about Nicholas ever, and I've mentioned his name twice already.
2 or 3 times.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and Jim, fuck you. Like, I didn't hear you be like, the tagline of this WrestleMania was on your stupid This Day in History bullshit segment.
The what?
That's what sold me on it.
Yeah.
Today's wrestling history shit.
Another name on mine. Actually, the other two have not been mentioned so far, but I'm going to say John Cena is one of them on my list.
John Cena.
Next to the
I can't
Undertaker,
argue
he
that.
has the second most wins, the second best record, winning percentage.
Wow.
And has been among the top. He's 10-5 at WrestleMania. Tim, are there any other ones on your list that haven't been mentioned?
No, I think the top four is it's Undertaker, Triple H, John Cena, and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I didn't put Hogan on mine.
There's another one that like should be brought up, and it's probably the other side of the coin for Ryan.
Andre the Giant.
Bret Hart.
Oh.
That's my fourth.
No, of course Bret Hart's your
That's
fourth.
my fourth. No, and I know you're going to do that. And so the reason why, first off, he's the only person that has ever wrestled at 12 straight WrestleManias. And he's met
4 through 13.
2 through 13.
2 through 13. Yeah, he was at 2.
I don't think he was on one.
No, he was not
he
at
wasn't
one.
on WrestleMania 1. He was on WrestleManias 2 through 13. It is the longest streak of consecutive WrestleManias wrestled at. And like his matches with Piper, Owen, Austin, Shawn Michaels, the Iron
And how
Man.
many of those years did Jim the Anvil Neidhart have to carry him?
2.
Mark.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Great.
but because I wasn't even necessarily thinking Brett, and then when Ernest and I were talking about this, he casually mentioned Brett, and I was like, he does have a real strong WrestleMania resume.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and yeah, if we're gonna talk, and you're the same way you yelled at Tim, if we're gonna talk about the other side of a great match, a moment that has to be etched in stone.
You know what? I'm taking somebody off and putting Goldberg kicking Brett in the face.
Oh,
that didn't even happen at WrestleMania.
I don't give a shit. You know what? Then that's going to be etched into Plymouth Rock.
Laser etched into Plymouth
Just laser
Rock.
etched that in that little thing.
You can save that for the Mount Rushmore star.
Why don't you just put like Brett's CAT scan from after that on the?
Oh no!
Wow!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh yeah, that's really good.
It's good. He
I'm
says.
sure that's really good.
Oh my! That was a great match at 13.
That's bad.
13 is an absolutely perfect.
13
match.
was a great match. It really was.
It makes me watching that match at 13 makes me want to go back tomorrow because don't tell anybody, but tomorrow's supposed to be a really, really slow day at work, so I might watch some wrestling instead. Do it. And I might go back and watch Survivor Series 96.
Ooh, solid.
To watch the actual wrestling match.
Yeah.
With the slick finish.
So you would call this like the Gaga match with the gigging and the...
I wouldn't call it the Gaga match, but it
it was perfect for a WrestleMania. It really was.
So we talked about it on Final Wrestling Place, and bar me to bring it up again, but it's like...
no, it's fine. You're,
Did you guys know that Tim does another podcast? Are you aware of that? Did you hear about this?
I had a random conversation.
At the end of the show, he'll promote it for like 13 minutes in his whole I'm the Toolman Taylor gimmick. If you haven't heard, just stay tuned. That's how we have listeners the whole way through the show.
Right.
Smokey, you woke up on the wrong side of the hibernation bed.
Okay, so I happen to talk to my best friend about wrestling and make it recorded sometimes. But
I like the other guy better.
Yeah, me too. He's the talent, and I'm the grease monkey that makes all the stuff work.
What a stud!
He is. He's a stud. He's a hoss. But it's the blueprint for every Attitude Era brawl from 13 until like
yesterday
19. Like every Triple H, Rock, Austin main event from 13 to 19 followed this same formula that they built in 13 not even the main event of the pay-per-view.
No.
It's the only match.
Yeah, you're right.
By the end of the match, Bret Hart has become the number one heel. He has set up Stone Cold Steve Austin as the next big baby face. And he sets up Ken Shamrock as a number one upper mid-carder. Tell me somebody that does better than
Ken Shamrock get into that Smedium referee shirt, by the
paint.
That was actually the first body painting ever recorded.
You could
Vince
hear
McMahon
screaming through that matchup.
You can hear just Vince McMahon, Randy Marshing, just covered head to toe in baby oil.
So vascular.
Oh my God, he's so big.
Stop it.
What was the Shane McMahon music for?
Right above the.
Oh, okay.
So I accidentally.
But it was actually really
You
good.
would put those buttons
It
close.
actually worked out really well for that one. All right.
I watched the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, which was great, by the way. I highly recommend checking it out.
I did hear good things.
A fantastic pure wrestling match between John Gresham and Dax Draper. Sorry. Flawless match on my top match of the year list. It was so good. It's absolutely going to make my top 5 at the end of the year. This match was that good. But Ian Riccaboni said something. And I wish I'll have to look it up because people were harassing him about it. But he used like an old wrestling term. Caprice Coleman called him out. Right? Let me look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up.
Who is he talking about?
Boy, I don't even remember who it was.
Look it up.
EC3, who was fucking ripped.
He's not a small guy.
He's
striations, maybe he was talking about the striations in his leg.
Striations?
Was that maybe the word? I'll have to look it up.
Vascular.
It definitely wasn't vascular.
Um,
Love Ian
Brian,
Riccaboni, by the way. I think he's a fantastic.
He said it on Twitter.
No, he said it on over the air, but Caprice Coleman tweeted about it, and I'm sure it was Caprice Coleman that tweeted about it.
But yeah, I definitely did hear good things.
I love hearing your quick typing, Tim.
Yeah, I know. I'm on
very
it.
ASMR-y.
It really is.
Yeah, that's what you pay. That's what you pay for the good keyboards, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And they're bringing back the women in Ring of Honor, so that's a really cool thing too.
That is
The
a
Women of Honor.
That is a great thing, as well. Let's get to this though. We did have the 3 count question of the week. And it is actually from a listener, Mario on Facebook, gave us.
Hey, it's me, Mario.
From watching Dark Side of the Ring, he said he asked, who has let you down the most, or as a result of their story, have you stopped being a fan of? And if you have any questions, suggestions that you want to hear us discuss on the show, hit us up on social media or 3countthursday@gmail.com. But I'll run down the episodes. These are the episodes from the first 2 seasons of Dark Side of the Ring. You had Randy Savage and Elizabeth, the Montreal Screwjob, the killing of Bruiser Brody, the Von Erichs, the death of Gino Hernandez, the Fabulous Moolah, Chris Benoit, Nancy Benoit, the death of Eddie Guerrero. That was all kind of tied together in a 2-parter. New Jack, the Brawl for All, Jimmy Snuka, the death of Dino Bravo, the David Schultz, John Stossel episode, Herb Abrams and the UWF, the Road Warriors, and then the Owen Hart accident were the episodes from the first 2 seasons. And if you haven't caught any of the Dark Side, where they call it like Confidential or something, where they re-air the episode and then they have the producers of the show with some like extra content and stuff like that. Surprise, surprise. It's hey, it's Conrad there at the 2300 Arena. How are you? They if it's a new wrestling show, I just assume it's going to be hosted by Conrad. But I think there is also a season 3 of Dark Side coming. But to this question, and I do love the question, but I don't know that there's necessarily anybody that has let me down the most, or that I've stopped being a fan of, that I wasn't already in that realm. Like, I mean, the easy one is the Benoit situation. But I knew of that story. There were some things I learned or kind of, they dug a little bit deeper and all these things. So there's not really one that I have stopped being a fan of, like, but I love the stories. Like it's, so for me, I don't think any of them changed mine. I think probably the one I've learned a bit about in the last couple of years has been the Fabulous Moolah. And that was kind of exposed a little bit before the episode, learned a little bit more about it. So if there was one, I would have to say it might be Fabulous Moolah, but I don't necessarily know that I was like a fan of Moolah to begin with, just because, she was well before my time. Anybody else wants to take it next?
I don't think it changed my opinion on anybody. If anything, it cemented my opinion on like things that I've heard. Again, you're a wrestling fan for so long.
Right.
And we host a podcast about wrestling. I don't think I heard a story that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, we're pretty ingrained in the world.
It confirms that, Chris Benoit had some head issues and was a son of a bitch. And you know what I mean? New Jack's fucking crazy. Yeah. I kind of was like, yeah, New Jack's crazy. And then I was like, oh, he's crazy.
He's really crazy.
Got it. The Bruiser Brody thing, like, I was familiar with that story. I learned a lot from that episode.
Yeah, like
but I didn't change any opinion necessarily. Let me answer the opposite way. Chris Jericho from the Benoit episode, earned some respect for what he had done.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So kudos to, I mean, lost it all with the whole demo god and the COVID god and all that bullshit. But
$40,000 to the 45 campaign and
yeah, things like that. But
you know, but here's the thing. Like
he did a good thing.
Like here's the thing. I'm obviously not a fan of 45, but like Jericho also will, you know, as anonymously as possible, give thousands of dollars at a time to like fans, like GoFundMe's for funeral and wrestlers GoFundMe for funeral. So yes, while I despise the fact that you're giving, you know, $50,000 to a political campaign that certainly doesn't need your money, I'm not going to do the Cornette thing and completely write off Jericho as a terrible person because of it, because he still he does like, there's things I don't agree with that Chris Irvin does with his him and his family in their spare time, but you know, yeah, I there are certainly things I respect him a lot about as well. Tim.
So I had to do some looking up, but in the Dr. D. David Schultz documentary, I learned about probably the dirtiest, rottenest dude in wrestling,
Bret Hart,
Eddie Mansfield.
Oh,
the guy who was disgruntled enough and wasn't getting pushed and agreed to go on television and expose everything.
That's a good point. That's great, actually, Tim.
So learning about Eddie Mansfield is probably the one guy that I absolutely hate walking away from the Dark Side of the Ring saga.
Interesting. Mark, is there anyone for you?
Yes. Well, I was never a huge fan of Jimmy Snuka. I mean, I didn't mind him. Didn't necessarily care when he returned, and they pushed him as a babyface. But you know, the things you've read, and then of course of him being in the news in the last, well, not recent years, but not too many years removed, when they were trying to put him on trial for murder. I mean, it really, all signs point to that man murdered a woman. Jimmy Snuka murdered his girlfriend at the time and got away with it. And yeah, that really not so good. Jimmy Snuka and Vince really looks like he had a hand in trying to cover that up. Really, really dirty. Not a big Snuka fan at all anymore. And then on the other hand, I had a lot more respect for New Jack because he really is crazy, and Dr. D. I really like those two more than I thought I did before. But yeah, Snuka, man, not a fan.
Yeah. Did they release what the new season's episodes are going to be?
They did. Tim, you want to look that up?
And
I had it before.
Is one of them actually a Nick Gage episode, or is it like a deathmatch episode?
No, it is a Nick Gage episode. I mean, I'm sure they'll touch on deathmatch wrestling and stuff like that, but I think it is focused
his story is going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Did you see him? Did you see his video yesterday?
I did.
That he put out. I sent it in the group chat.
I'll check it out after the show,
because it was like trans awareness. Can we play that? I don't know. Is there a way we could play that from his Twitter on the show? I mean, it's not safe for work. So if you're listening at work out loud, put headphones in, because it's Nick Gage. So it's not going to be a safe listen. I'm going to tell you that right now. But here's a man who spent time in prison, is also probably crazy a little bit, does some crazy shit in deathmatch wrestling, and has the common sense to say something like he says here, and again tweets it out yesterday on what was the actual day? Trans Awareness Day, something along.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Tim,
your mic's off, Tim.
It was the Day of Visibility, I think it was what it was
called.
Day
of Visibility. Shit, that's it. Yes. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, here it is. Let me play. It's only like 38 seconds.
Yeah.
First off, I'm the god of this shit. I'm Nick fucking Gage. I'm a leader of a murder, death, kill gang. I got something to say right now. I'm talking about trans rights right now, especially in the climate of this America right now. Trans rights are human rights. They are human fucking beings. And if you're transphobic, guess what? You see me, I'm gonna fuck you up. MDK all fucking day. Shout out to all the trans out there. Support you. Keep fighting the fight. And anybody else, humans' rights, keep fighting.
I mean,
If Nick Gage can get it,
straight to the point, man.
come on,
Mhm.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can't wait to see that episode. That episode's going to be
But yeah, like
crazy.
you said something, and I think it's a great point, Ryan. Is like I just learned a lot of things I didn't know, like the Bruiser Brody, the Gino Hernandez episode, the Dino Bravo one. Like I knew like how he died, but like actually learning the story of like how exactly he got into that world. The Herb Abrams UWF episode. Like,
Yo, the Herb Abrams story is so good.
Wild. It really is. There's so many.
Wow. So like that's what I've loved about that show is just like the things that I've learned, but in like the same time, and this isn't just not necessarily to the episode, like, and this is what I've always said, and the more we learn about like head injuries and head trauma and CTE and stuff like that, is like obviously what Chris Benoit did at the end of his life is horrible. It's unforgivable. It is an absolute tragedy that not only that he took his own life, but he took his wife's life, he took his son's life. But in the same time, like I can't help get out of my own head the fact that like this guy was so like, because of his head injuries and because for a long time you didn't know any better about, headshots and flying headbutts and and all that sort of stuff. Like when you got concussed, you just got a little dazed,
Right.
like that's the way they look at it. You rub some dirt on it, you drink a few beers, you pop a few pills, and you get back to work the next day. So like he didn't know any better. He always wanted to work and this and that. So like there's a part of me that, and it does not forgive what he did at the end of his life, but there's a part of me that feels like bad for the fact that he had this problem that at the time we didn't understand how to diagnose or how to deal with it. And like there wasn't, we like mental health in 2021 is something that's not even handled properly.
Correct.
Much less in, the early 90s, mid 90s, stuff like that. So like the way his life ended and then what he did to his family is a horrible thing. But like there's also a degree of tragedy to Chris Benoit as well, which kind of gets lost. Like, should he ever be in the Hall of Fame? No. Like, but like I don't, there's a certain degree of like hatred for Chris Benoit that again I understand, but for me there's also a degree of like sympathy for him as well, because of the fact that like he was dealing with something that we didn't understand, and even right now we probably don't even come close to fully understand.
Yeah, no, that's I think well said, Jim. I can echo those sentiments. If we knew then, even what we know now, how preventable was this? And what does Chris Benoit look like today? Like, does this, does it take away his memories? Does it, like, what would he be like today? Full-blown Parkinson's, dementia, who knows? Like with those brain injuries, and it's been years. I mean, how would he have aged and progressed? With like a Swiss cheese brown. I don't know what else to say, but like the damage done is just awful, really, really awful.
Would it have gotten as bad as it got? Because now, if you see signs of a concussion, you're pulling somebody out and you're evaluating them.
Sure.
And maybe he has to, because part of the reason Daniel Bryan had retired for a couple years was like some concussion issues as well.
Right.
It wasn't just the neck and the arm and all of that. So
right. I mean, there was a time where like, yeah, concussions, my brain just smacked against my skull. And I love that the idea was rub some dirt on it.
Got a little fuzzy.
Right. Walk it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just player safety and
I'll take care
wrestler
of it.
Right. Even to the fact that like the stories were like, I took pain pills because I was in pain. The pain pills kept me up, so I took sleeping pills.
Yeah.
The sleeping pills made my head foggy, so I took uppers to wake up.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, the lifestyle that these guys were living is just horrific.
Yeah. It was, and we've talked on this show about like with the Kurt Angle podcast, how he forgets where he is in conversation and stuff. Sometimes he was in pro wrestling for like this long, like over the grand scheme of things.
Right.
When you're talking about a guy like Benoit that was in it from, for years and decades and stuff like that. And like Angle started at the end.
I mean, I'm assuming you could catch a concussion or two amateur wrestling.
Oh,
as
sure.
well. Like there's
Sure.
definitely,
his hard living started when he was like a legit wrestler.
Oh yeah, I mean,
right. I think broken freaking neck in
Right.
the Olympics. Your body's worn down already. I mean, in a totally different way. We're not taking crazy bumps or getting thrown through King of the Ring glass.
But he's also like wrestling in the heavyweight division, and he was on the lighter end of the heavyweight division. Like he could have cut weight and been a killer in a lower weight class.
For sure.
But instead, I have the list of Dark Side season 3 so far.
Ooh.
The season premiere will be Brian Pillman.
Ooh.
We also have the Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling promotion, FMW.
That'll be great.
XPW, Extreme Pro Wrestling, which is an ECW West Coast deal.
Yep.
Nick Gage, the WCW.
Wow, this is really hardcore so far. Then.
Yeah.
Like that's 3 hardcore in a row.
Yep. WCW New Japan Collision in Korea, 95. The Smith family, so Grizzly Smith and his children, Michael Sam Houston, Rockin' Robin, and Jake Roberts.
That'll be
that one's going to be a dark episode.
Ion Croatoru, a.k.a. Bruiser Bedlam and Johnny Canine. Looked him up. The reason why that's going to be so good is because after he was a wrestler, he had run into the law as a part of Satan's Choice motorcycle gang and multiple murder convictions. Don't sleep on this episode. This one's going to be good.
Oh, okay.
Went into the charity business.
Yeah. Chris Canyon and the Dynamite Kid.
Who better than Canyon?
Nobody better than Canyon.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it's a shame. Like, I'm excited to watch these, but it's literally exposing the dark side of the ring. Like, as a wrestling fan, I know it's there. So again, it's not going to change my opinion on professional wrestling. But the way that they did, it's so good. Oh, if you've never watched an episode, stop listening to us right now and find an episode. Well, no, we're almost done. We're almost done. Hang with us for another couple minutes.
The other documentary that really kind of made me skeezed out was the Randy Savage one. The Savage and Elizabeth one from season 1.
Okay.
And how out of pocket Randy seemed to be, as possessive as he was portrayed to be with Liz. Like, Randy Savage is an all-time great professional wrestler. He's like in the list of guys with like Brett, and like it's a very fine line of like, most people who have matches with him have their best match of all time with a Randy Savage, a Bret Hart, not a Shawn Michaels, but like a Ric Flair. Like, but outside of the ring, Randy Savage was like borderline psychotic.
Yeah.
Be a man, Hulk.
But then, like, if you look at it from his perspective, he thinks that the Hulkster is keeping Liz from him. And it's very weird. And like, now the more I hear about Hulk, like, it's very Presto Strangeo. in a certain light.
You could go on eBay right now and get your own copy of Be a Man, the Macho Man Randy Savage CD for $99.75. Only one CD is listed.
You could also just like download it, or you can play it on Spotify for
Can't do that. You
free.
gotta have the hard copies, folks.
Did I ever tell you the story about CD Warehouse in Lancaster?
They used to have a copy.
They had a copy of the Savage CD behind the counter, and the store was going out of business. So, and it was basically like everything must go, selling the farm, store closing. And I went in there and I said, so everything in the store is for sale. And the guy's like, yeah. So I said, how much for the Macho Man CD behind the counter? He goes, no, that's not for sale. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because it had a tag on it, because I think it was initially somebody had brought it back in there, and the tag was like $8.99 or something. It was kind of like scratched off or whatever. And I was like, I'll give you $25. Like I wanted it because I had seen it up there for years.
Yep.
And the guy's like, no. I was like, all right, I'll give you $50. And he just wouldn't sell it. Like, I don't know if he or somebody there was, and he just wasn't telling me. Somebody that worked there was a wrestling fan, had already kind of laid a claim on it.
The seller on eBay is CD Warehouse.
But yeah, so I was pissed that I never that wasn't able to get that. But yeah, that one, but
that was the only copy I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah,
it was CD
the,
Warehouse in Lancaster. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. That one was a bit eye opening. But again, like, when you hear some of the different stories about how, kind of like loose and with morality that was going around in the backstage world of professional wrestling back then, you can kind of maybe understand why Randy was a little bit protective of his wife back then. But yeah, it did kind of get to the level of uncomfortable at times as well. So that was a little bit of an eye opener to it. But yeah, definitely a good question there from Mario. And again, if you have questions for us that you want to hear us answer as part of the 3-count question of the week, hit us up. Send us a message on Facebook, on Twitter, or you can email us 3countthursday at gmail.com. Final topic before we get to the news. This is something.
Do we have a question of the week next week?
I have one in the on the cards, but it doesn't.
You do? Okay. Well, then I don't want to jumble it up.
But we can add whatever you're thinking, just as a general topic of discussion for next week. We can discuss.
All right, we can do that.
But this is one I saw Scotty, listener of the show, friend of the show, on Twitter on Friday, and it was around the addition of Daniel Bryan to the main event at WrestleMania with Roman Reigns and Edge. And he kind of brought up the question, and I think Ryan, I had seen you answer it. I had given an answer to it. Do Royal Rumble winners have their match turned into a triple threat at WrestleMania devalue the Royal Rumble win? And Ryan, you had given an opinion that was different than mine, so I thought I'd bring it to the table here. Personally, I don't think it devalues the Royal Rumble win. Like, the Royal Rumble win guarantees you a main event match or a match for a championship at WrestleMania. It doesn't guarantee you a singles match. It doesn't guarantee you a traditional one-on-one with all the disqualification and count out and all of those sort of rules attached to it. It just guarantees you a match at WrestleMania. So if that match becomes a triple threat, if that match would happen, I don't know if it's ever happened to become a fatal 4-way, or becomes a Hell in a Cell, or it becomes a last man standing, or it becomes whatever. You got your match. Like, you got a match at WrestleMania. Now, is it less fair that you have to compete against two people instead of one? Possibly. But I don't think it devalues the Royal Rumble win because, some can argue, well, what if you're the number 3 entrant into the Royal Rumble and you fought for 58 minutes and eliminated 11 people? And what if you came in at number 30 and you were in there for 9 minutes and you eliminated one person to win the Royal Rumble? Is that as hard earned as somebody who went from number 1 to the end of the Royal Rumble? I mean, all you do, it's the same for everybody. The last man in the Royal Rumble, the last man standing at the last elimination, they get a match at WrestleMania. They get a title match. That's what it guarantees. It doesn't to me, it doesn't devalue the Rumble win at all.
So I'm looking through the list of Mania or Royal Rumble winners who had a championship opportunity at WrestleMania.
Okay.
So right offhand, The Rock's title win or The Rock's match got turned into a fatal 4-way at 2000.
Okay.
Benoit's got turned into a triple threat in 04.
See, I think, and again, speaking of recency bias from 21 years ago sounds weird, but the Rumble started in what, 93?
93 was the first year.
Up to then, it was always just that singles match. And I think
sure,
right.
History people think history-wise, you get awarded that. And it waters it down. I mean, the watering down of it, I think, is the problem of it. Jim, if you run a marathon and I say at the end, I'm going to give you a delicious Coca-Cola, and then you finish the finish line, and then I give you a Coca-Cola, but I water it down a third, like literally add water to it, it's going to taste not great to you. And you're going to be like, dude, but you told me I get a Coke. And I'm like, yeah, but you got a Coke. It just had some water in it.
Now, also, the idea of a triple threat match didn't come to WWE until June 97.
Okay.
Wow.
The first triple threat match in WWE was Owen Hart versus Triple H versus Goldust on Raw for the Intercontinental title.
Oof.
But why? But to your point, Ryan, why are you watering down the Coke?
What was the question?
You said if I run a marathon,
correct? Well, you do whatever. Hey, I'm going to give you a Coke.
Okay.
You're not running a marathon. Let's choose a little more. Right.
So I walked around the block, and you said I'm going to get a Coke.
And who wants to swig down a Coke after running a marathon?
Right. But why are you watering down the Coke? Like what? I don't understand the correlation between watering down the Coke,
right,
and a WrestleMania match becoming a triple threat.
Right. So I took your prize, and I watered it down a third. I Daniel Bryan the hell out of it. Let's call it that.
But see, I don't see how adding Daniel Bryan to the match is watering down the prize.
Because
the prize was a Coke. The prize is a championship
title match at WrestleMania.
Correct.
But in worlds
and you still got a Coke though. Watered down Coke or regular, it's still a Coke. It's in a Coke can.
So
or bottle.
Tim, yes, Tim.
Here's the to spread it out. So you run the marathon and you get the Coke, and you're told that if you win, you get the Coke.
Sure.
But there's an opportunity that, okay, well, you get a Coke, but also this other person who didn't do what you just did can vie for the exact same Coke and can take the Coke without you being involved.
Keep it up, and I'm going to make it a Shasta.
No, because Daniel Bryan's not taking Edge's Coke away.
But Daniel Bryan can pin Roman Reigns, and Edge is not involved at all in the decision of the match.
All right, so maybe the watering down isn't the idea. I give you a Coke, but then I say you also have to give a third of that Coke to the guy that stood here and watched you run that race.
See,
that's a better analogy.
I get a Coke for walking around the block.
Right.
That's a marathon to me.
Got it.
Daniel Bryan's getting a Coke nothing theoretically.
Daniel Bryan is not getting a Coke. Daniel Bryan is possibly getting your Coke.
No.
Not a Coke,
No.
your Coke. Because in this
because
analogy,
winning doesn't make you the champion. Winning only gets you to the match.
Gets you the match. So I get
so it's your Coke. It's still your Coke. Because that's your match, and he got included in your match.
Yeah, but
he didn't get his own title match. He's in yours.
But I was never promised the only Coke.
You were promised an opportunity at a champion of your choosing at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. I still have.
You're challenging the champion. You're not challenging the champion and another person.
No,
that's a fair point. Do you now think if you're Edge, shit, I challenged the wrong guy. Had I challenged Raw, Daniel Bryan's not there and wouldn't have been able to come into this match?
Possibly. But
because
let's say it's not a Coke. Let's say it's a Papadilla from Papa John's, which is just a small pizza folded in half.
Pizza folded in half.
Right.
My wife is pissed at those commercials every time.
So pissed. I actually saved a picture.
She's mad at them for you, Ryan.
I'm pissed. I just saw it up on Twitter the other day, and I saved the picture, and I'm going to unleash the hell one time. It was a goddamn $6 Papadilla. You can't see it, but I saved the picture. I'm pissed.
You should tweet it at RYN Eagle.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweet at somebody.
But
tweet at Shaq. He owns Papa John's now.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's like partner of Papa John's.
What happened to the sweaty guy that ate all those pizzas?
30 pizzas in 30 days. You know how that works.
I mean, actions have consequence. Like maybe Ed should have waited longer to make his choice. Maybe he should have waited till after Fastlane.
He waited until after Roman beat Daniel Bryan.
Well, and didn't wait long enough, maybe.
No. Okay, so let me go back to my point.
Finn Balor. Maybe he should have picked
I'm
Drew
just
McIntyre.
one.
Then he would have been facing Bobby Lashley. That's a whole different battle in itself. Nope, wrong one.
Yeah, I liked it. So
but
let's say, Jim, I promised you a delicious Coke.
Yes.
But then I took it away and I gave you a Dr. Pepper.
I actually would like that better.
And then I took it away and gave you a Dr. Bob.
Now you're talking.
Pretty Dr. Bob's still good.
I don't know. I don't do Dr. Pepper or any of the doctors.
So out of all the Royal Rumble winners,
hit us with it.
Just by looking at the Royal Rumble winners themselves, since 1993, 6 of those matches have turned into multi-man matches. The most recent,
and that's including
Edge.
2 years ago, right? The girls.
Becky's. So Becky's, Batista's at 30. Rey Mysterio's in 06.
And let's be honest, that 30 had such a good build to it. Like, it made a ton of sense.
Was the watered down moment of that title match.
Sure, he absolutely
was. One of the greatest finishes, WrestleMania moments in the 37-year history. Was the devalued, the watered down, the stealing of the Coke moment.
But it made sense to water it down at that moment. I'm not sure this makes a ton of sense.
It feels like, at least for this moment, Daniel Bryan getting injected into the SmackDown World Championship feels like we don't have anything for Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, and we need something for Daniel Bryan at Wrestlemania. So
somebody
we're putting
told me
him
it was going to be a CM Punk match.
I was told that too,
and I got bullshitted on, and I'm pissed.
I am too. You know how good it is to feel. You know how it feels to feel to be called a liar.
My ass got bamboozled.
So did mine.
Yeah,
hate it.
I also heard that Brock was supposed to come back. He ain't come back neither. Now I got to watch Drew McIntyre versus.
They're going to come back and face each other. There's going to be Brock.
No one wants to see the Beast versus the Best in 2021.
No, I have no interest in that.
I barely wanted to see it at that SummerSlam.
I mean, I feel like Daniel Bryan's in this match. And again, I've not watched a ton of SmackDown, so I may be wrong. But because of how he was treated at Fastlane or whatever the match was, I guess it was Hell in a Cell, Pain in Your Ass, whatever the hell the show was. Hell in the, what was it? Chamber, Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber.
And then like Roman Reigns picked the bones. That's why he's in there.
So it's
like Roman Reigns played his cards really well.
I think it's,
and then Reigns gets shit on and has
personally,
to face him
I think Daniel Bryan is there so that if they choose to take the title away from the head of the table, there's a fall guy that isn't the head of the table.
I still think that that match is not done.
You think there's another? That's right.
I think Jey Uso's going into that match too.
But he's
CM Punk, right?
No, not CM Punk.
Oh, not CM Punk. Got it.
It'll be Jey.
Kind of even the stakes, like to
yeah, like Roman's now had 7 days to figure it out, and he's got the greatest Jew businessman in the history of wrestling, Paul Heyman, with him.
He's great.
He's gonna figure it out, and he's gonna weasel Jey Uso in there, and it's gonna be a fatal 4-way.
So I just think because you said it was 6 since 1993.
93. Yep. So
that's how many Royal Rumbles?
6 Royal Rumbles. It happened.
No,
6
but how many
times.
Royal Rumbles has there been since 93? So that'd be 27.
20.
Well, then you have women. So I mean, that's over 30 Rumbles, right?
Yeah, let's just say yes.
Sure. So over 30 Rumbles, there's been 6 instances where it hasn't been a one-on-one.
29.
Okay, so 29 Rumbles.
31 counting this year.
So 20% of the time,
right,
it becomes a multi-man or woman match.
To me, that's not watering down a Rumble win. That's not lessening a Rumble win. If it was happening more frequently, and I get it, it's even if you go to 97 when the triple threat was invented, so now you're at 25 Rumbles or something. Like it's not happening. I think at a frequency enough that you're like, well, if I win the Rumble, I have to worry about somebody else taking my spot. And I think over time, they've done a pretty good job at making it make sense as to why there's somebody else going into that match. And
who was added with the girls? Was Charlotte the one that was added?
The spot was taken away. Technically, Becky Lynch was included, not Charlotte.
Charlotte won the Rumble.
No, Becky won the Rumble, and then Charlotte's spot at WrestleMania was taken away from Becky and given to Charlotte. And then Becky had to earn her way back into the match.
That's right. Okay. So that was probably the most convoluted out of all of the instances where this sort of thing happened. But
well, I mean, there was 1999 where Vince McMahon wins the Royal Rumble.
I mean, I just mean like the storyline was being told there of how they. I just feel like Bryan's being shoehorned in here because, like Tim said, there's not, or I don't know who said it. There's just nothing else for him.
Like,
yeah, I think I think they're all, WWE. I think is also in a weird spot because, we're in that the
they are
of the eye period.
Them troubling times.
Them troubling time because it's the first show since right after Elimination Chamber in February of 2020 that there are fans there. Yep. And I think they realize somewhere between the Rumble and now that, oh shit, there's probably a pretty good chance that Roman Reigns, despite being booked as a heel, probably going to be cheered when he comes out. Like, and that's why you've seen this transition to where Edge is psychotic Edge. And now Daniel Bryan's kind of this, in between figure that's going to, take heat and take face from somewhere. But like, this is kind of a wild card that this whole Mania as a whole with a crowd is kind of this wild card that WWE doesn't exactly know what they're dealing with. But I think they're smart enough to know Edge ain't coming in face, Roman Reigns ain't coming in heel by themselves. So they've had to kind of adjust on the fly. And
they probably should have had Roman Reigns dump some dog food on somebody. That would have done the trick.
They probably should have. That would have been probably a smart thing. But so I think maybe I'm chalking it up a little bit to this is just kind of this weird period of time. Mark, you've been very quiet during this. What are your thoughts? Does it take away from the Rumble win?
I'll tell you what I think this year it does, but like with Daniel Bryan last time at WrestleMania 30, when that's an old storyline made a lot of sense. But this one, I personally was looking forward to seeing Edge and Roman Reigns, and I didn't necessarily need the addition of Daniel Bryan in there. I don't think it makes sense. But honestly, at this point, I'd almost rather see a fatal four way with Jey Uso in there as well than just a triple threat match. But it feels like it's a little forced, and I think it's if we actually had fans without this pandemic, I think things would be a lot different with the WrestleMania main event. But
yeah, I'm not sure if Daniel gets added if we're not in
yeah,
this.
I don't know that he would have either if we had fans and but yeah, I'm just not feeling the triple threat match, which it's a shame.
I'm personally feeling the triple threat more than I felt Edge and Roman one-on-one. But usually when you stack the deck against the Royal Rumble winner, it's because he's the underdog. And Edge is not the underdog here.
He's the overage dog.
Well, depending on whatever report you're reading.
He's on the wrong side of 30.
He's on the wrong side of 50, I think. How old's Edge?
I think he's 40-something, isn't he?
Edge is up there.
I don't know if he's 50.
Let's talk about the real bummer of Christian Cage
47
signing with AEW, and that's we're not going to get more of the Edge and Christian show that reeks of total awasomeness or whatever.
Whatever, dude. They'll do it when they're 70.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
And it'll be like the damn Muppet old people critics. Just
I love it. I'd love it.
Waldorf.
Yeah, love
I want that even more now.
Sign me up. Signing up for Peacock right now.
Yep, cock.
Peacock.
I forgot to add that bite to the board, Tim. You're lucky.
Oh wait, I missed a bite.
Yeah, I mean, I can.
Did
I'm calling
get new sounds in the past 3 weeks.
So I'm calling Peacock the cock.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a natural thing.
I can.
Like a red rooster.
I'll add it really quick.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
You know, I'm just not sold on the idea of it totally like lessening the lessening the Royal Rumble win.
Big Jim.
Yes.
The Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys earned their way into the Super Bowl. But then the Washington football team finds a way after going 4-12 in the season to make their way.
WWE wins and losses don't count.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in this instance either. They're 4-12. The point is, it's a team that was not in contention and did not earn their way to this opportunity. They get injected into the Super Bowl. Now, you should beat them. But
there's
should they be there anyways? And that's the point.
I mean, I don't necessarily I get what you're.
You imagine 3 teams playing football? Oh my God, my head hurts.
I was gonna say that makes my head hurt.
You can make the argument of like March Madness and a low-ranked team upsetting a higher-ranked team a couple of times. Like that low-ranked team shouldn't have been in there anyway. You can make that argument,
but they've
won on the way to get there.
Yes, but like in this analogy, it would be, for example, the 1 team and the 16 team played each other, and the 1 team won.
I get you. I really
and the
do.
1 team goes all the way to the end. But somehow, if they find out that everyone had stolen the powers of 5 NBA players, thanks to the Monstars, and they give the championship game to the 16 seed. Like that's the analogy.
Right on the cock.
Daniel Bryan has had. He was in the same Royal Rumble as Edge.
He was.
He had his opportunity at Elimination Chamber, and he had his opportunity at Fastlane.
Beep beep.
3 times he's had this opportunity to get into the main event at WrestleMania. Beep beep.
Right.
No.
And now he
Edge has a leg to stand on. Like it should. Like Daniel Bryan has no.
He probably also has a cane to stand on. But
that's not a nice way to talk about Beth Phoenix.
No, I get it. I mean, I see. I wasn't, because my point was in a more general sense. Like if it doesn't, it may not make sense this year as much, and maybe there's a case that it weakens Edge's Rumble win, but I don't think making it a triple threat or a fatal 4-way in a general statement, I don't think it weakens the Rumble win.
Jim, you said something early on, and again, maybe I've just not paid enough attention. But you really think Roman Reigns would get cheered
at WrestleMania this year?
At WrestleMania this year,
without question.
Really?
I absolutely.
Just because people are liking what he's doing?
Yes.
This was the Roman Reigns we've always wanted to see.
It's the reason that they've never actually turned Roman heel.
He's the reason.
He's Hulk Hogan in the NWO.
Yes.
We all wanted this.
And he's
I still don't believe that equates cheers. I feel like that equates smarks to be like, nice, this is what we always wanted.
But I think
I
don't crowds are going to be like the Raw after Mania crowd. There's going to be a lot of shit from the 2-night crowd at WrestleMania that doesn't make sense.
But then can't we just take that? Like, we're talking about the WWE. Present what you've got and have a smart enough writing team that you take that crowd, and if you have to rewrite Roman as a face, you don't rewrite Roman as a face. He gets cheered. He comes out and does the most dastardly thing on SmackDown, and he's a heel.
Right. You make Roman earn the boos.
Right. You it's his ring now. Like you make it happen. Is there going to be crowds at Live Raw? Is it a Live Raw with crowd?
No.
So they're right back to the fucking Thunderdome.
Yeah, they go back. They go to the Yingling.
So you pipe in the booze.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what they've been doing. Yeah.
But they're going to. My question is, so from my understanding with the WrestleMania Live crowds, the sections of fans are going to be potted off.
Yes.
Like literally, they're going to be in like glass cages of emotion.
Like
with
the
no
smoking section at the Eaton Park.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh,
you tap on the glass. The smokers get angry.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yep. And so that's what it's going to end up being. And I've also heard that there's a possibility that those pods have tops on them.
Ooh.
That's weird.
Oh.
I'm in a glass case of emotions.
Yeah. So
that's
that's
interesting.
Yeah. So like how much noise is actually going to be heard? Like I'm curious. Like I have a few friends that actually got their group tickets and they're going to Tampa.
Yeah.
They've been vaccinated, everything's great, but it's like it's crazy.
I'd kind of be surprised if they put tops on the pods. I mean, it
maybe like some decorative lattice.
But I'm also willing to almost guarantee that like when we saw the NXT superstars as crowds in the Performance Center when you had the plexiglass around the barricades, I'm for sure you're going to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how close front row is to like the barricades, but I'm sure they'll have the plexiglass same as they do.
Do we think green shirt, khaki hat guy, and Frank the Clown, and they're going to be
Wrestling Vampire,
ringside
guy is going to be
super fan, Brock Lesnar guy, all in a group.
Like they have to be.
I don't know yet if I'm going to get angry or happy that I'm going to see them. I really don't. I'm just not sure. But I'll probably be happy because there'll be crowds and it'll feel somewhat normal. But
right, that's what I'm most looking forward to. I'm most looking forward to
why I like takeovers so much. Like, even though it's a controlled small crowd, it's still that live reaction that we're getting.
Yeah, I just think it's
and I know
probably
Raw is
easier.
piped in, and I know SmackDown is piped in, but these are like live, real reactions.
Yeah, it's probably just easier, and I mean, you can argue safer to have a controlled environment with the Thunderdome.
Absolutely, I'm never going to not argue that. I'm just
It's
not
like,
a fan.
If WWE had the ability to do an amphitheater setting where you could have a live crowd a little further away, I think they probably would.
It's what AEW does. It works, right?
Yeah.
You get some real reactions.
But it's I just don't I don't. I mean, I would have loved to have seen him in like an outdoor stadium and just have some crowd. But yeah, we'll obviously talk about Mania and Takeover and stuff next week. Remember, Tuesday night, Friday night are the 2 3-count episodes. Just a couple of news items here, guys, and then we'll get out of here. We've already cleared the 2-hour mark. WWE Hall of Fame, RVD, latest inductee, announced this week into the class of 2021. So the full class as announced so far for the 2021 class: Molly Holly, Eric Bischoff, Kane, the Great Khali, and RVD. I would expect them to add a celebrity to that.
There is one more.
There is a celebrity, isn't there?
Yeah, they have a celebrity.
No, if you go back and read the press release, William Shatner was added as a celebrity to the 2020.
I'm not counting Shatner.
Well, who's the
Warrior Award?
Oh, that hasn't been announced. The Titus
O'Neil. Yep.
Okay. So maybe they won't do a maybe that's why they added Shatner to the 2020 class. And they'll probably announce Titus on Raw this week.
Oh, that hasn't actually been just leaked.
Yeah.
It got leaked
okay.
because
I didn't know that.
they've already taped the
taped
Hall
it.
of Fame.
Right, I knew that.
I think they taped it at the Thunderdome.
They did, yeah, because I saw pictures of the Bellas there. Because Shatner added to the celebrity member of the 2020 class. So that one, JBL, British Bulldog, Jushin Thunder Liger, the NWO, the Bella Twins, William Shatner. But I did hear from the Bellas podcast this week, the speeches were cut from 10 to 15 minutes down to 3 to 4 minutes for each.
I hate that.
I know. Like,
now I'm not happy.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
I want to thank my mama.
Right.
I want to
like,
thank my mama's mama. And I want
get, like if either you're doing that because you have such a large class, but then just don't have a 2021 class if you're gonna cut the speeches down.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah,
and you're gonna air it on the cock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't you just air like a short one and then just and edit it?
So like a small
like
cock?
a small cock, and then
a large
like
cock.
The Hall of Fame, it was probably going to be a huge cock.
I don't want to pay extra for a large cock. I
No, I think that you would just get some like ads on the cock.
Do you not have the cock?
I do, but I feel like getting a cock that large is going to cost extra.
But what?
I think it's the same
What
price.
level cock are you?
I mean, I'm an adequate size.
I think he's
the
he's
cock
not the
is,
great cock, but he's not the huge cock. He's the
So you're like the
It's
$5 cock.
It's like a 4 or 5. It's like 4 or 5.
Discounted
like a $5 foot long.
It's like a 4 or 5. Yeah. I mean, it's not a 9.
Here's the deal. I don't.
Why am I coming?
I don't. I don't necessarily have a problem with the ads. They are usually 60 seconds. I don't know. Has anybody's watched anything other than live TV?
The
on
live,
the cock.
like the live pay-per-view on the cock. Your favorite, Ryan, the fast lane cock.
Right, I watched it.
There was no ad. So like when you watch playback, you get ads.
I watched the entire, and I don't know why I was. Well, I know why, because I was in quarantine. I signed up
That's
for
a
the
fever
cock.
dream.
You had
It
nothing
is.
else to do.
And I watched the entire Monday Night War series again. Probably my third time through. It's like 21 episodes. It's so dumb.
That's a long documentary.
But there are like sometimes where it's like, enjoy this episode commercial free thanks to Pepsi. Bop. And then there you go.
Yeah.
57 minutes of uninterrupted time. And then they give you a little timer in the corner over here.
Well, I
A
noticed
45-second commercial break isn't a problem to me.
there was something I noticed because I watched back WrestleMania 30 because because I WrestleMania season I always watch back old Manias.
Sure.
And when I went through my Peacock app and it said like 12 days left to watch this on WrestleMania 30, and I was like,
huh?
What? I'm like, that seems odd. Like the WWE's on there. And when I clicked on it, there was no commercials. So what I'm wondering is if they're rotating the programming on the free version of Peacock, and there's 12 days left to watch WrestleMania 30 on the free version.
That makes
there
sense.
was no ads when I watched it. So
I mean, again, if you had the WWE Network switching over to $10 for cock, and you get it ad free,
right?
I'm saving myself $5.
I'm literally saving $10 because I get
sure because you get Xfinity, right?
I get the cock.
You're getting free cock.
I love it.
Your cock for free.
I will say I'm probably gonna upgrade to a much larger cock once my 4-month five.
So you're on like the budget cock.
I'm on the 2-for-1 cock.
I should have signed up for the 2-for-1 cock.
Yeah,
I should not have signed up for the 2-for-1 cock.
What's the 2-for-1 cock?
So you get a $9, you get $9
worth of cock,
but it's split up over 4 months.
Is that the 250 cock?
It's a 2.5 cock for 4, but I would have rather got 9 and get a solid, $9 every month.
And ad free and all of that. I mean,
yeah,
I wasn't. I tweeted about the Office, and I wasn't planning on watching it again. I really wasn't.
But
I'm on season 4.
It's a good season.
And as soon as that's done, I'm going right to Parks and Rec.
Oh, I would totally watch. We ought to do like a Parks and Rec deal for the
I
Patreon,
love Parks and Rec.
dude.
I've never actually watched any of it, so I should
really
in a good place or like
Aubrey Plaza's
that I apparently
so
need
quirky and so hot.
to go back and watch through.
I know it's not appropriate. There, like, she's very attractive. She's a very attractive woman.
Attractive woman.
Yeah,
she's from Delaware.
Yeah, she is.
I think she's the most popular person from the state of Delaware.
Oh shit!
You forget the president.
It's probably Biden now. No, but like 2 years ago, they had like a most popular person, and I think she won it.
She did.
No kidding. All right, couple more news items. DraftKings and WWE announced that DraftKings will become an official gaming partner of the WWE. The collaboration centers on DraftKings' popular free-to-play pools product and will launch with inaugural free-to-play pool at WWE's 2-night pop culture extravaganza WrestleMania, April 10th and 11th. DraftKings will receive an exclusive license to media assets and in-game branding for WWE pay-per-view events. Additionally, both WWE fans and DraftKings customers will be able to participate in a number of integrated free-to-play pools, contests, and products, and experience digital promotion and program integration.
Nope.
That is launching. If you're into that world, I might actually check it out. Yes,
I am too goddamn gambly, and
that's
Ryan,
nope.
You're
clear from.
I slide into one free pool, and like $50 later, I'm gonna be like, son of a bitch. Nope.
There goes the money.
There goes the money.
There goes the money, right?
Bring back WWE Fantasy, you cowards.
Oh my god. If that happens, I'm in trouble.
Did you play WWE Fantasy?
I didn't. But if that's a thing that happens, I don't know if I ever knew that was a thing.
So during the dark period, oh my god, it was so good. During the dark period where you weren't a wrestling fan, Jim.
Yeah, see, that's what happened.
You could draft with a set number of points superstars from Raw and SmackDown, and you'd earn points for like weapons, matches, wins, finishers, signature moves, and they would update the shit like every show, and you would go against other people in your league.
That was strangely arousing.
Oh man, it was so good. I love WWE Fantasy. And then they broke the system, and somebody created 4 accounts for one of each of their family members, and they were the top fantasy getter. Yeah, it's always somebody ruining it.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
You suck, you jackass.
I can't tell you how easy it was for me to give up fantasy sports. And I don't miss
I only
it
play
at
fantasy
all.
football. I don't play fantasy baseball or hockey or anything like that because like I don't remember to do it every day.
Right. That's
But,
it's a
fantasy
hassle.
football. I check my team on Thursday to make sure I got people on the Thursday games, and then I go on Sunday morning, set my lineup, boom. It's easy. I fucking love it. I love drafting teams.
I enjoyed playing it. It was shockingly easy to walk away from.
No, not for me. It's probably the thing that really keeps me interested in the NFL.
Wow. Okay. Now give me a WWE scratch ticket. Now we're talking.
I'm in. Mark just disappeared. All right,
he went to buy the scratchies.
Two more.
I had to get some scratchies.
NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver Night 1 and Night 2 will actually both air
right on the cock.
And of course the WWE Network. It was originally announced that Night 1 would air on USA Network only, but now WWE said that Night 1 will air both on USA and Peacock / the WWE Network.
Nice.
Night 2 still airs only on
right on the cock.
Takeover is scheduled to begin 8 p.m. Eastern time for both nights. Kickoff pre-show is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Those lineups look amazing.
Takeover is locked and loaded.
It can only disappoint me because
it will only disappoint.
I have lofty expectations.
As long as Big Mama Cool walks out as the new NXT Women's Champion, I feel like I can.
There's no way I'll be disappointed.
Also,
with this.
She has the cutest dog that has its own Instagram page, by the way.
Is that the one that was walking around?
No, that was Taya Valkyrie's dog.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that.
But Raquel Gonzalez's dog has an Instagram page, and I'm not sure if I love the dog or Raquel more. I'm undecided on who I love more in that pairing. And then finally, Mark, I know you're going to be disappointed about this one. Multi-platform host and reporter Charlie Arnott. We know her as Charlie Caruso in the WWE. Joining ESPN on a full-time basis beginning in early April. It's part of a new multi-year contract extension with the network. In addition to the First Take, Her Take podcast, she will continue to contribute to select editions of ESPN's morning debate show First Take, the network's signature news and information show Sports Center. She'll also regularly appear on ESPN Plus's weekday morning show Sports Nation, along with other digital shows across the sports streaming service as well. So Charlie Caruso, we barely knew ye, no longer with the WWE. Not a huge surprise as we've seen over the last couple of weeks. We've kind of seen the transitioning away. There we go. Tim lighting the
damn it, I don't know where my candle's at. I put it away with the COVID. Shit.
You couldn't smell it anyway.
I couldn't have.
Oh, wow. Mark with a shot across the bow.
Yep.
Sorry, Smokey.
No, that's the truth. That sucks. I love smelling things.
Smell,
Can you still not
taste.
smell, Ryan?
I can smell pretty good. Taste is about 75% back.
Jesus, yeah. Yeah, you can hear a little bit full story on the pre-show, post-show this week, patreon.com.
Oh, that was all being recorded?
Yeah, it was recorded.
I'm glad I didn't say
with
something stupid. Yeah, that's fine. No, absolutely fine. Yeah.
I mean, he did make out with his parents. So.
I did. I gave the COVID to mom and dad, and I apologize for that. But yeah, no, I think it's an important thing to hear. It's
so patreon.com /3count Thursday.
Yeah, real serious.
$2 a month.
What
Starting
a cheap,
at $2 a month.
We're so cheap.
What a deal.
We're the cheapest.
Okay, we're real cheap.
But you guys got anything else? Otherwise, we're gonna get the hell out of here because we're already
I don't have anything
past our 2-hour time. All right, let's
Holy Thursday.
Holy Thursday. Ryan, let's kick us off. Got anything to plug on your first?
Boy, do I not. You can follow me. It's RYN and then the word Eagle, RYNEAGLE. It's over here, right? Is that right? On the screen, Tim? Nope. Son of a bitch. Over this way. Is it always over here?
Yes.
Ah, my God, I didn't know that. Well, there it is.
The screen, it's on the left, but to you, it's to your right.
Right. So there it is. You can follow me there. Make sure you check out our Instagram page. Our Woman of the Week is Jordan Blue. So peep that. Make sure you like all of the posts. That's how at the end of the year we do our giveaway money gimmick to their charity. With Matt not being here, I wanted to make sure I talked about that. What else was there? I do a podcast with my best friend. It's called the no, I don't. Take it away. Tim, you fill in the blanks.
Tim, go ahead.
Also, check out Matt every other week. He does a podcast called the Whiz Wit Podcast where they talk about all things Philly sports. I'm sure the next episode is going to be great because they're going to talk about how great the Phillies are, but always the Phillies suck.
About the
Go
Flyers
Braves.
losing to the Buffalo Sabres last night.
Good.
Breaking an 18-game winless streak.
Philly sports suck.
Go
Go Hawks.
That's cool.
At Now the Tool Man across all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. If you care, I do 2 other podcasts. I'm going to be really busy next week. Check me out at Final Place Pod, at VC on North South. As always, thank you guys so much for listening to us here, listening to me and everyone else, wherever else they go. Big Jim, the Big Jim Podcast Network is taking off. Check all that shit out. Also, our good friend, Sixth Man, Brittany Nicole. Check her out. She's working on financing a move to Texas. So go to lookitsbrittany.com for her store. Buy all the merch. Help her to have a great life. Thank you.
Absolutely. Intern Mark, got anything?
She deserves it. I do. I need to, not that they're listening, but they should be. I want to issue, hi boys. I want to issue an apology to my coworkers today. It is, as we record this, it's April 1st. And I want to apologize for the brownies I brought in. I brought brownies to work today, and I put up a sign and had the little tin and covered it with foil that said free brownies. And when the coworkers throughout the day went and peeled that tin foil away, there was brownies in there, but they were brown construction paper letter E's. And I left a lot of them confused because I work with a lot of old people. And yeah, it was quite entertaining. I'll be completely honest with you. I'll do it again next year. But I apologize for not having real brownies. Bobby. Happy Easter, everybody.
Thank you, Mark. Hope everyone has a happy Easter. Again, next week, we will not be here on Thursday night. We'll be live Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. We'll be predicting NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver. We'll be live again Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time to predict WrestleMania. We'll talk a little bit about NXT. Make sure you go to 3countthursday.com. Follow us on all of our social media. That's where you can get everything 3 Count related. And make sure you check out our home network, NGSC Sports, at ngscsports.com. Our secondary network, the Leap Sports and Music Network, at leeibsports.com. Until next week, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the pin. 3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website, arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?